All right. Welcome back, all my shovel knights, my shovel princesses, shovel kings, shovel queens, shovel jesters, shovel cats, shovel dogs, whatever kind of shovel you are. You are welcome right now for the next 3 hours or less, or your pizza's free. We have the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove all campaign relay. And we got two teams here. We got Team Eldad and Team Bean coming at it right here. Before we get started, though, we actually got some donations. I want to read them before we get started, because I know once they get going, they're just going to be firing off. So we got a $20 donation from KLM1187 saying, GOC hype. Love this event. Good job, all runners and crew. Money towards original Shade Man theme. We all know it's better. And I agree. We all know it's better. So I agree with them. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we got a $15 donation from Viralii. And no message, but thank you so much. But without further ado, the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove all campaign relay. I will pass it off. Take it away.
All right, welcome on in. Welcome to Game Over Cancer Fall 2023. I am Dan the VP, and this is like crazy that this is about to happen because like we've literally talked about being able to do this since the release of the final campaign, which you'll see in about 2.5 hours. But I've got another commentator with me if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lukey13. I'll be co-commentating the first race and something else along the line.
Yeah, we're going to be... All of the commentators are also runners, so you're going to be hearing people come in and out during the run, and just to add on to the amount of technical stuff we have to deal with. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hear who is going to be competing. We're going to be playing these campaigns in order: Shovel Knight, Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, King Knight, that will be on the test. On the left, we've got Team Ladad, anchored by Applesauce on Shovel Knight. David TKI, who has learned the new Big Boom route on Plague Knight. Lukey13 running Spectre Knight. And me, myself, and I, Dan the VP, on King Knight.
And on Team Bean, we've got Exploud on the screen right now, I believe. Breadpan running Plague Knight, world record holder, from what I can tell. Sorry, my memory's a little foggy right now. And we've got Amps on Spectre Knight, and Norcus racing King Knight.
Yeah, we have 3 current world record holders, not to mention the past, present, and future, PBs that we will all eventually get. But with that being said, I think we can go ahead and throw it all over to the runners, and we're going to get a countdown for them in Discord, and they will be starting shortly.
Take it away. Ready when you are.
They have received the go.
Okay.
All right, and it looks like our runners are getting started. From across the world, we do have several EU runners and US runners, just to make 8 people all come together and play these games. And Apple and Exploud. Apple is on the left side of your screen, Exploud on the right. And we're starting off in the plains, and things will seem familiar. If you're new to Shovel Knight in general, it's kind of a 2D, retro-inspired platformer. And by the end of this, you'll all be shovel experts or plague experts or whatever your flavor is. There's lots of stuff to choose from.
All very good choices, might I add. I've played them all any %, and it is a joy.
Yeah, several of our runners are going to have times, top times even, in all of the nights, let alone the one they will be showing off today. Huge shout out to all. We have some runners that are kind of running secondary nights for themselves just to make all of this work. Exploud on the right screen literally came out of retirement to do this for us. So just a huge shout out to everybody that agreed to do this, and for Game Over Cancer for having us.
Gonna be
You'll
seeing
see
our runners go through Dirt Mountain right now. I already saw Apple do a spicy jump earlier with a beetle. Let's see.
Shovel Knight is it's really sly. All of the movement tech that's involved with Shovel Knight that you really, it's hard to see because being the first game, it's a little more simplistic and kind of like on the nose for just an action platformer. But it's also the oldest campaign and it's the highest optimized. And so many of these jumps are just right on a razor's edge of what you can get away with.
Just keep your eyes peeled right now.
Yeah, actually going to see a little bit of a glitch here.
One of 2 clips.
There we go.
I don't know if you'd call it that in the game.
Yacht Club generously never put a ceiling there, so we're able to kind of screen wrap the top of the screen to skip some of the planes, and we're going to get to our first boss fight here, the Black Knight. It's kind of a rhythm to this fight. Let's see if both of our runners can nail it. You really get out a lot of hits with that shovel, so it takes a rhythmic focus, and both runners nailing it first try. Not a problem
Very
at all.
well done. It is not quite a difficult kill, but you can mess it up. It's not free by the slightest.
No, and if Black Knight gets away from you, there's no telling how long that fight's going to take you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get to see the overworld here, and this is going to kind of be a staple of the series, except for Spectre Knight. We're going to get kind of an SMB3 themed overworld, and we're going into the King Knight stage now, Pridemore Castle. And you do have options, playing this game casually, but of course our runners know the fastest route. Some of that is going to have to do with gaining money when they need it, and also purchasing relics when they need it, which we're not going to see any relics for the first world, Lukey?
Yep, the first entire world. Most routes don't buy any relics, the only exception being Flare Rod, if you are familiar. Which is kind of an outdated route, which I shouldn't really say, but,
This just goes to show how strong just like low percent Shovel Knight can be with the right strategies and understanding his combat mechanics, because the relics you can purchase are pretty powerful, and for Shovel especially, you'll see as the run goes on, we're going to use those relics to great effect, but not for this first world. We took care of Black Knight, we're going to see King Knight here, and we managed to be able to do enough damage that it's not worth deviating from the fastest route in each stage to get the gold we would need to buy relics, and then actually find them in the stage.
Oh yeah, Shovel Knight is an absolute powerhouse. Most of the relics we're going to be buying are going to be for movement, in fact. That's how much of a powerhouse Shovel really is. Some of our other knights are not as lucky.
No. And we are running these games in release order, which is not necessarily chronological order. Shovel Knight and Plague Knight kind of happen at the same time, and this is the end of the story, if I'm remembering correctly.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah, King and Spectre are more kind of prequels, so it makes sense that Shovel Knight is the strongest in all reality with just his base shovel attack.
Apple playing it a little safer. I do know there's a damage boost there, and I do appreciate the safe strats.
Good checkpoint there. Both of our runners coming into the King Knight fight using a little bit of a knockback from the basic shovel attack to keep themselves positioned right by King Knight the entire time, really deftly dodging all of those attacks.
Could be seeing both of our runners go for very different strats. Some more optimal than others, some more difficult than others.
It's a really good display of how, I don't want to say accessible, but these runs have been gone over, and you have new runners come in and, come up with new strats. There's really a lot of room for new runners to learn the game, and people who want to, go for those faster times, just add a little bit of time save by being riskier and riskier.
Oh, for sure. You could even, for example, go for a route with 6 HP, which only loses a couple seconds, really. Is a lot safer, for example, in the boss rush, which is going to be coming up eventually.
We are in the Lich Yard now, which is Spectre Knight stage. Most of the campaigns are going to kind of follow this formula where you have long stages, multiple checkpoints, and then the stage-themed boss at the end. King Knight's going to divert from that a little bit, but we've got a lot of gaming to happen before we get there. We'll also eventually see our runners destroying some of these checkpoints, which will give them some gems. The Shovel Knight route isn't too heavily worried about having an exact amount of money. They should pick up more than what they'll need if Apple goes for this spicy field struggle.
Oh gosh.
I can't see. Oh no, he tried.
Okay.
I could tell that he tried.
Yep. Well played.
There are a couple of these rooms that you just like, you almost ignore everything in the room and do something just completely ludicrous to save 2 seconds. But,
When I first saw that strat, I really believed it was just TAS only.
yeah.
I was like, that looks ridiculous. No way.
That's a good time to mention. We do have a lot of tools for these games. There's an auto splitter for every campaign, and we do have a trainer if you've got the PC version of this game. So strats like that would be, you know, TAS only or really difficult. You practice right on the nose every single time, and really great having folks that have supported the speedrunning community throughout the years and developed those tools for us to use.
Shoutouts to modders in general, to be honest. Would not be possible without them.
Not at all. Coming up to the Spectre Knight fight here, we're doing the low percent strat. Looks like Exploud destroyed that checkpoint. He's only got 2 life. Let's see what he can do with Spectre here.
Again, going for slightly different strategies, but both equally valid.
There we go.
Making
Apple.
quick work of the boss.
Team Ladad currently in the lead. I get a little nervous because King Knight, which is the knight that I'm running, takes a full bubble of damage. I forget that Shovel Knight's a little bit. Everybody else is a little tankier than King Knight. And they just take a half point.
Oh yeah.
All right, coming into the break after Spectre Knight stage, we get the first dream sequence. We're going to see this at the end of every world map. And you have to beat every stage before you get to the end of the world map. So no matter what order you do them in, you're going to get this dream sequence at the end of the second stage on this first world map. The second boss, I should say. Slightly optimal here to die and also catch Shield Knight, who you were dreaming about. And Apple will be the first one progressing into World 2.
Now we're actually going to be picking the furthest stage, which seems counterintuitive from a low percent perspective, but the relic here is very powerful.
Oh yeah. I feel like this is one of the relics that when you find it on your blind playthrough, you just know that it's going to be a powerful relic. I also love skipping auto-scrollers, which I think we're going to see. Oh!
Unfortunate on Apple's
Exploud
side.
now
Let's
on
see if
this
Exploud makes it
auto-scroller.
happen.
Really intricate use of damage boost and... Okay. Looks like he's going to take the Beto ride. Free in the ferry. Okay.
Going for a slightly safer strat.
And
Still
there we
plenty
go.
difficult, making it work.
Skipping the
Nice, nice.
Skipping the back half.
Apple seemingly going for the same strat now. Yep.
Using that birder to come and bridge this gap. Oh!
Oh no. The nerves getting to him, possibly. returning to map for that money.
Yeah, you got to keep the money so that they can afford the relic in this stage.
Apple's far from out of it yet, though.
Yeah, plenty of room to maneuver. See Exploud on Team Bean, finding Chester in the chest. Going to be purchasing that Dust Knuckle. And this is going to both be a source of damage, and it's going to kind of shoot you through these dirt blocks you're seeing in the game.
But not just dirt blocks. There's plenty of other things it interacts with.
Yeah.
For example, these enemies here, or, well, that is where I would have knuckled the slime.
Yep. All right.
Here you go. Never mind. Being made out a liar here, Danny.
You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of a race, right?
Yeah, no, I have no idea what strats these runners go for.
Just shows you how, you know, Exploud coming out of retirement. We don't know exactly what new strats he's learned, how risky he's going to try to be. And our runners don't know where everybody else is. You know, they're making their own decisions based on their own situations, so. Cloud here using that Verter again, help get through this auto-scroller and the Dust Knuckle.
Fun fact, that trick only works with VSync on, which is required by the rules, because the physics are just slightly different enough. It is a
Cloud on
little
Mole Knight.
strange.
Getting those double hits in. Knocking the sparks back. Got behind Mole Knight there. That is a quick kill. Apple making his way through. I loved this section, playing it for the first time, kind of transforming this lava, which is an instant kill.
Never fear, though.
It wouldn't be a retro-inspired game if the lava didn't kill you, the pits didn't kill you, and the spikes didn't kill you, so.
Now, Dan, what is so special about the Explodatorium, and why do we all fear it?
Well, you see, the Explodatorium is the best example in this game of global cycles and how they impact just about everything in this stage, because as soon as you load in, the clock starts ticking. For every barrel platform you see, every kind of flame that might be popping up at kind of in a sequence, all that starts at the very beginning of the stage. And with runners of this caliber, they're timing their strats exactly to a T. So any little loss in movement, any little mistake they might make, they've got to take that into consideration. And Mole Knight just melts on Apple's side of the screen. He is right on the tails and will be popping into the Explodatorium soon. Now, all these platforms, they've been going the whole time. They don't take a break. They work overtime, nights and weekends. That's what a global cycle does. Using these damage boosts, all right, for the screen. That feels like cheating, but okay.
It is quite a funny trick, because when the game says that the top of a tile is somewhere, that is where the tile ends, and you can just go over.
Yep.
Other walls you might notice don't have this, like, top of the tile. You're gonna be seeing that somewhere else. This will be on the test.
Yes. Exploud grabbing the Alchemist's Coin, which is the second relic that both of our runners will be picking up. This is more of a recent, relatively, addition to the route in this game. It took a lot of strats, gives you a little bit of extra damage, gives you an extra platforming option, which becomes really important in a couple of places.
It also gives us an extra object to knuckle, which can speed up movement a little bit.
You can throw the
every
coin
little bit
and then-
matters.
Oh wow! I didn't know you could dust knuckle through the coin.
Oh yeah.
That's impressive. In these cycles again, it's oh man. 'Cause every flame next to a pit is a death that has happened in a run.
Oh yeah.
If we can get the shortcut here, and he gets the off-screen
Nice.
ladder screen transition. Apple coming in right behind him, making quick work of this section as well. So that
Getting
screen
Ice Climber's
transition
first
works.
try.
Oh, yeah. That screen transition we saw from Xploud, and I'm sure Apple will go for it, works because that ladder, the ladder initiates the screen transition, and so since it's there, you can grab it off screen, but the screen's only kind of transition if you hit the ladder. So it is not a free, not like a one of the more retro games that we might have seen this week where you can just transition the screen at any point. You have to activate it with that ladder. Plague Knight boss fight coming up as we see Apple on the left gets the ladder as well.
Very random fight. Let's see how our runners deal.
That Alchemist coin doing a little bit of extra damage there. Plague Knight
Full hearts.
summoning. Oh,
Very important.
nice kill.
Nice, nice.
As the second out of 3 bosses we're going to have to defeat in stage 2. Oh man, all of
Let's
these
see how it goes
projectiles.
on Apple's side. I know Apple is a Plague Knight extraordinaire.
That damage boost, there was a spot that Xploud kind of struggled with, and Apple did a quick turnaround damage boost to bop himself up on that ledge. Man.
Oh yeah. It's a good time to mention that damage boosts are just, they always knock you backwards. So if you face left, you'll always get knocked right. I know some other games make that very, like, seemingly random decision at times.
To me, it feels very retro inspired because that's a very common thing you'll see in like NES games or like the Mega Man games where you're intentionally turning backwards to get damage boosted forwards. And just like that, our runners are almost entering Treasure Knight's sunken ship at the same time. They're grabbing some armor, which Xploud is running the OG variant of Shovel Knight, so he bought some armor and his color changed. Apple is using a cheat code, which is perfectly legal. It only changes his color, but he's going to stay as orange Shovel Knight even though he bought that armor as well. And they also bought the shovel upgrade there, Lukey, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. The charge slash, which is gonna let our runners do a full heart of damage per charge slash, which might, if you've played the game, seem a little not worth it because it's quite slow to charge up, but you can cancel it by jumping and charge it a lot faster. We'll be seeing our runners do that maybe a little bit when they're bored in auto scrollers or something.
Xploud walking on the spikes. They are instant kill, but iframes save you from that. And using the damage boost iframes to not die on the spikes. And here we see that charge slash as well on this mini boss.
It's gonna be very important once the boss reaches the end and becomes damageable.
It's a good example of the Dust Knuckle and the charge slash.
Oh yeah.
See how risky Xploud is with this kill. Oh, there we go. Nice kill. Apple spawning the mini boss right as Xploud finishes. This floaty Mega Man inspired water physics go well with the music in this stage, which was also composed as a Kickstarter incentive by one of the original Mega Man composers. Nice little touch Yacht Club was able to include. These anchors activated by your proximity, so you gotta risk it and keep moving forward to get the platforms you need. There are a lot of really challenging just base obstacles in this game, and it's something that really elevates Shovel Knight in my opinion, because a lot of your original platformers, there are safe, slow ways to do just about everything, but there's some stuff in this game that it's just tricky, and you just have to learn, what your options are and how to use your abilities. Exploud and Team Bean coming into the Treasure Knight fight. This can be rather RNG, so let's see what he gets here. Using the coin to do some damage.
Getting some pogos in. Very nice.
Oh, don't get sucked up by the treasure chest. Right there. Apple coming right into the fight as well. Oh, he gets the cycle all the way to the left side of the screen. That is
Very
a fast
clean.
kill. Wow, let's go. Team
And just
Ladan.
like that, it becomes very close once again.
Gonna get another dream sequence here because this is the end of this world map. Just like that, we're 22 minutes in to this run. We're halfway done with Shovel Knight.
Not just because it's a dream sequence, don't close your eyes, because we are going to be going up. There's a tricky death. There you
Oh,
go.
there we go. All right.
Let's see if Apple can nail it too.
Trying to get Shield Knight mid-air to save some time. Oh,
Of
perfect.
course.
Again, moving to the far side of the world map to access the stage so we can get the relic. If you thought Dust Knuckle gave you a lot of platforming options, I mean, you're right. But the propeller dagger, I was stalling because I forgot the name of the relic and I just remembered it. I hope it's the propeller dagger, or I just made
It
that
is.
up and it sounds good. Okay, it is. Propeller Knight's dagger. There we go. Nice little coin strat there from Apple to get up. So many little small optimizations there when you have that coin and you can just kind of like spawn your own platforming device.
And I can say truly that it is so tricky to get all of those tricks right, the jumps. Like knuckling the coin on the ground is not that bad. But trying to do anything with it becomes infinitely more complicated.
Yeah, once you throw the coin and then knock it in the air and then knuckle it midair. Got a quick mini boss kill from Exploud on Team Bean. Apple right on his heels.
Ooh, not quite getting up to the ladder.
Quick backup strat there to get the ladder. Notice all these fans kind of giving you little boosts here and there, and these secret paths are just perfectly hidden in the tile set. Just nice little touches. And we've got both of our runners have the propeller dagger. Like the Dust Knuckle, it's going to take them left or right. And now they can basically fly. They're going to have to keep an eye on their magic or mana, which is that number that's going to be going up and down on the top left side of your screen, especially now, because if they run out of that dagger for a pit, I mean, there's not much you can do.
Well, that's where the benefit comes from. I think both of our runners have run low percent before, so they would both know what to do just in case.
Yes. Which low percent is just... Low percent is the category, and the folks that have run low percent are just... They're champions. These games are not meant to be played low percent, and our low percent runners are not just like babying it through stages and being safe. Like, we have any percent strats that are difficult that our low percent runners still somehow pull off on, you know, an even more challenging basis. So flying through the rest of this stage.
Getting
be seeing-
very close to those top spikes.
Oh man. I can't watch. The spike boxes are just... And this boss
okay.
fight is
We're
going to be
through.
something almost mirrored at this point. The boss fight is going to be... It's a dance as much as it is anything.
Apple just going for it. Let's see how this goes.
One. Oh, he had to go for it.
Onyx
with the
Cloud
one
side.
iron.
Can he hit it? Yes,
got
very
him in the
nice.
top corner. Let's go. Apple coming round 2. Now this fight works because when the boss... Oh, perfect kill on round 2 for Apple. That fight works because when the boss takes damage, their hurt box isn't active anymore. So you can just go right through them when you normally wouldn't be able to. And it lets you dance around with Propeller Knight there. Really tough stuff, and it's really important to get that fight as he transitions to a second phase. It just takes forever.
You're to be seeing that abused very heavily on Polar Knight a little bit later. But for now, we're going into Tinker Knight stage, the Clockwork Tower.
Oh, you know what? We talked about spikes and lava and pits. I didn't talk about getting crushed, which is also instant death.
Very true.
Is also the only way to kill any of the knights using the God mode cheat code. The only thing that kills God is being crushed. So that's also going to be on the test. Oh, the coin strats, man. Every time I look over and one of the runners is using the coin to platform, it just makes me smile.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful and terrifying all at the same time. And I could never do it myself.
Picking up Tinker Knight's geared platform, which I'm not even going to try to remember the name of.
Mobile gear.
There we go. Mobile gear.
That's what you have me here for, right?
Oh yeah. We also needed a Spectre Knight runner, so.
True, very true.
That gear is going to let them skip quite a bit here, and it's also going to be useful on boss fights as well, so you know. Multi-use item. And this is by far the most you're going to see any knight use any relics. Most of our runs are going to use 1, maybe 2. We're up to, what, 4 now already on Shovel Knight?
I believe this is 5, because we're not buying anything more.
Oh, 5, man, I can't even count. Going by so quickly, it's not giving me time to count.
There is a route for Shovel Knight with only 4, called Neitherless, but it seems like neither of our runners are interested in that. It is, I believe, a little less optimal.
Climbing up this auto-scroller here. There are a few really, I will say long, but tedious auto-scrollers in almost every campaign. And if you haven't lost a run to dying to the bottom of an auto-scroller, congratulations, because I sure have.
Same here.
Coming up to the boss, both of our runners basically neck and neck. Exploud opting to get the health, gonna give Apple a chance. Using the mobile gear, one-shotting Tinker Knight.
Yet another Mega Man reference. Gotta love it.
Gonna see the coin come out here from Apple. Using it to platform up. Wow, oh, didn't quite stay up on the head. Exploud wasn't able to get it either. Apple got a little bit of extra damage from that coin. Dust Knuckle into Pogo, and Tinker Knight is down for Team Ladad and Applesauce, and as well for Team Bean and Exploud. All right, one more stage left on this world map. Hopping into Polar Knight stage in the slippery ice. You're also going to see some kind of snow blocks we're going to need to use to cover up some spikes. The dirt blocks are also now ice blocks. Everything is thematic. And I don't know, you know, I'm kind of preferential to what team I'm rooting for, seeing as I'm on one of them, but I think I'm rooting for the runner who kills the least amount of the little cute dogs in this level, because they're cute.
I'm afraid that's probably going to be a tie.
Oh, well, I guess I'll have to root for both of them.
Ah, what a shame.
Need that platform, we've got our own ride. Try to use the top of the screen here. Oh! I thought Apple was trying to go over, and I thought he was dead, but no. They can fly now, I forget that.
It's just like King Knight. Totally.
Yeah. You also notice all the runners swapping back between the Death Knuckle, the coin, the propeller dagger. They're having to use, however they have their keys bound, whether they're cycling between them, whether they're using a key or a button to go exactly to one of their clicks. That's all happening simultaneously with running and jumping. Exploud taking an unfortunate death there. Not all of the checkpoints are really in a position where our runners grab them. So set back a little bit further than you might be if you're playing this casually and take a death there. I think Exploud was deathless up to that point.
I don't dare say.
He was in Discord talking about he was rustier than he would like to have been, and I think he's been deathless all the way up to this point. First death. Somebody in Twitch chat confirmed it, which means it must be true. And Apple is now onto Polar Knight, using that gear to stack some damage. These spikes are one-hit kill spikes, but it does not matter for Apple.
Apple finally taking that lead he's been seeking after. Battling for.
Exploud making up the ground. We get the dream sequence on Apple's side, because that was the last stage for World 3.
Again, don't close your eyes. It's gonna be quick.
Taking the intentional damage here. Oh, mid-air again. We get the gear and the coin from Team Beamed and Exploud. Really utilizing those damage frames on the boss. And another quick kill on Polar Knight. Covered in his own snow. Tower of Fate Stage 1 for Team Ladad and Apple.
Personally, one of my favorites in Shovel Knight. It just shows off so perfectly your entire kit. Utilizing that dagger everywhere.
Yeah, especially on this run, having all of these items, because the tower stages kind of recycle through all of the themes from all the previous levels. And now you do have these relics to use to kind of maneuver around enemies you might not have been able to before.
Also, one of the few stages I would like to point out where you can actually run out of mana, and you'll see our runners running out. So it does help to get random mana drops.
Yeah, all that mana coming out of the dirt or the enemies can all be different amounts. Any of the pots you see on the ground, we know that's going to be there. Anything else, we're just hoping for. I think both our runners in this stage. Ooh, using that fairy there. These new enemies that are unique to the tower as well. And some with the sword, some with the bow.
Designed by a Kickstarter backer, I believe.
I might need to have a word with them. Courtesy of my King Knight runs.
Oh gosh.
This dark stage, there are holes that you just don't know are there until you've fallen through them, which this is not as free as it might seem. Especially with these hover meanies.
Oh gosh.
It gave them a boost, actually.
Hover minis are always scary. Every campaign, every time I see them in a new stage, I'm like, oh gosh, not again. Gonna be seeing Applesauce stun locking Black Knight once again. Probably
that
giving him
charge
flashbacks to the
flash.
planes.
Nice.
Yup. Getting a
Even
little bit of extra
quicker.
damage in. Yup.
Splout on this dark screen. See what the hover meanie gives him.
Please be nice. Okay.
Alright, Apple in Tower Stage 2. Are reprising the Treasure Knight stages here. Or stage, I should say. Oh, getting so close to the lava.
Cloud opting for the single hits.
Another stun
Very
like
nice.
kill.
That is so tricky to get right. I believe you only have a couple frames every hit. Or he'll just
It is
jump
really
out of it.
tricky. Just flying over the stage here, over with Apple on Team Ladad. Moving into the Tinker reprise. Now,
Who
while
doesn't
these
love
runners are
auto-scrollers?
while these runners are reaching the end of their run, we have our Plague Knight runners who are getting ready to get queued off. We're gonna pass things off in a separate Discord channel, so you're not gonna hear us counting down, trying to. There's all kinds of delay and stuff, so we've got the tech behind the scenes, making sure everybody can get started in a fair manner. Sploud going down there. In Tower Stage 2. All the lava in this stage. Apple making to the top of this auto scroller. Did he skip through those dirt blocks because
Yep.
they weren't on screen? Ow.
So if the dirt blocks are not on screen, they do not have collision. So you can just jump up and over.
Is it
It is.
faster or is it just cooler?
No. Because
It's
the
not-
screen is locked to whenever it scrolls to the very top. Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah. Boss Rush always a treat to watch, terrifying to play.
Yeah, we're gonna get some health, we're gonna get some mana back, and we're always gonna get Polar Knight within the first 3 bosses because it is the only boss with an instant kill mechanic. So, Yacht Club was generous. We wanted to, things to be fair.
Gonna be using some new relics that we got on some earlier bosses, just to speed things up a little bit.
Bounce
Very
Inspector off
nice.
the wall. Sploud Team Bean navigating this auto scroller. Tinker Knight does have both of his phases. Still. Sploud also going through the swag dirt block, using that time to pick up some health as well. Save some time so he doesn't have to pick it up right before the boss rush.
Yeah, those 3 plates you see before the boss rush are actually random, so they're not really worth it to pick up to us.
Treasure Knight not being as cooperative for Apple, but still a quick kill there. Polar Knight over on Team Bead and Exploud.
Ooh. Still in that very first 3, so it's
Yes.
not going to be that costly.
For Propeller Knight almost getting away from Apple, but managed to take him down in one cycle. Both of our runners fighting Mole Knight now, but not quite at the same point of the run. It's kind of cute. Just Plague Knight left for Apple. Plague Knight is down. We've got Polar Knight. Exploud getting the revenge on Polar Knight. Oh, not saving all the friends. I guess that's faster, isn't it?
I have no idea by how much, but yeah, very much so.
Coming into the final stage from left, Team Ladad, Applesauce, current world record holder for this category. Coming
Making
into
it
the
to
tile
block
room. Yeah.
Yep. If you haven't died on Block Room, are you really running this game?
Look, the King Knight block room is the worst. Treasure Knight going down for Team Bean and Exploud. It's got 4 knights to take care of after that. See what this Propeller Knight fight gives them. A little bit off rhythm there. Still managed to get a quick kill on him. Apple
One hit away
navigating.
from death. Not even close.
Looks like some health there. That'll be needed. Lining up that mobile gear to get a little bit extra damage. Bouncing Spectre Knight off the wall. And we've got the Enchantress over here for Apple. Now this is the final boss.
Very nice.
Phase 1 goes down quickly. Apple will be done with his portion when the next boss reaches no health.
And this is going to be the biggest time save, and Y coin is largely worth it. Jumping up there.
Bouncing up.
Yep.
Wow. Getting Shield Knight there and not waiting for the big slowdown. The epic scene. And Exploud, one more boss left.
Apple trying to get another flashy trick in, not quite managing, but that's okay.
Well, getting on top of the Enchantress. Her health is going to melt.
Almost done. Time.
And that is Shovel Knight. Any percent for Apple. David will be taking over Plague Knight right there, man. Look at that. We got some wizards on the tech backstage.
Shoutouts
And we
to Tech.
have... Yeah. GG. Let's get some GGs in chat for Applesauce. For 1 out of 8 of our runners finishing. We've got Exploud and Team Bean right behind him for Shovel Knight. Now we've got Plague Knight, Team Ladad, and David TKI learned a brand new route to run this. So shout outs to David. Learning the big boom. You'll notice a lot of similarities over here with Plague Knight. It is the same stages, by and large, for Plague Knight as Shovel Knight. We're just coming through with a different character, and there will be some story changes, some different things you can buy and stuff. So definitely not just like a reskin. And the mechanics are completely different when it comes to combat and movement. Really a joy to play. Might be my second favorite knight.
Your favorite being, of course.
Oh, King Knight. Yeah, I'm one of those rare people who, like, I enjoy my speed runs. So.
I see. Yeah, sorry, I'm not like that.
Enchantress coming down, phase 1 Enchantress coming down for Exploud. Oh,
Going
that
under
kill,
the
that
stage.
Swag. That swag kill, well. And Black Knight over here, let's see if we can get that same... Now this fight is harder on Plague Knight if you ask me, because this rhythm is Oh, it's so easy to miss that. But David taking down Black Knight. Exploud didn't quite get the height. Oh, man. All right, phase 2 of the Enchantress.
Again, at the very end of this phase.
We'll have Breadpan coming in for Plague Knight after Exploud and Team Bean finishes this fight. Oh, didn't quite get the Dust Knuckle. It's going to take him a little bit longer to finish this off. Gonna wait for Shield Knight to give him another platform. The Enchantress movement not cooperating with Exploud, but it's happening. It will come soon.
Time.
And that is time for Shovel Knight any percent for Exploud. And right there, as if by magic, we have the current Plague Knight any percent world record holder for Team Bean in Breadpan. David in the Spectre Knight stage, Breadpan in the Plains. You will see some differences here between the two. They're going to go, eventually they're going to buy some different power-ups and different items in their arsenal. So the routes will slightly diverge.
And I believe that's going to be my tag out. Thank you all. This has been my first commentary experience. I hope it's been satisfactory.
Oh yeah.
And you'll be seeing more of me in a little bit.
We also have our previous runner Exploud gonna jump in and help me do some commentary. GG on the run, Exploud.
Yeah, that was weird.
It made for a good match. You know, y'all traded back and forth for most of the runs, so it made commentating a little harder. But
yeah,
you know,
I can see that. Yeah, I saw that the episode had weird freezes on his end, so I don't know what happened there, but
yeah, he took a couple early deaths and then just pulled off some big strats at the end. But we got David and Team Ladad coming into Spectre Knight. We've got Breadpan. It's just piece of cake on Black Knight over here.
I do have a problem, actually, for this race specifically. I'm supposed to be on Team Breadpan, right? The problem is that I love Big Boom, and Breadpan doesn't use Big Boom, so I have a problem now.
Oh well, you can come over. It can be 5v. It can be 5v3. You can come over to Team Ladad.
Well, yeah, I can do that, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have like 2 different routes, which is gonna be weird because the dad is going to Spectre first, and Breadpan is gonna go to King first. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm not as up on the Plague Knight routes, so that will be interesting.
So basically, the Big Boom route is supposedly the task route, but compared to Shovel Knight Coin, Big Boom is way harder to optimize. Well, Coin is hard to optimize, but you can gain time by just playing somewhat well and learning some new strats. Big Boom is not like that. That's the problem. So, for example, technically the best time with Big Boom is a 39 something from Tolu that he didn't record because it was not his PB. And yeah, we don't have a better time yet, and world record right now for Plague is what, a high 47, something like that. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm gonna check it. Because I'm not up to date because I was retired until recently, so you know.
Yeah, we had to drag you out of retirement. Yeah.
Yeah, they dragged me out of retirement. Damn it.
I mean, it took them like 8 years or something to release all the games, so we had to,
Oh yeah, Breadpan has a 4804. There you go. And I think the best time from Tolu with Big Boom is 39:57, if I remember correctly. So there is a big gap. But Big Boom makes up for his slow start because you have to go to Primorky, do that weird wall thing, buy Big Boom, then actually continuing the stage by being more consistent than the usual route that Breadpan is going to use. So
Okay.
here we see them in both in the same stage, but later on, Breadpan, since I was super late compared to Applesauce, is gonna be going to Spectre without buying Big Boom, obviously, and David will go straight to. I can't even remember my own route. That's nice. Well, we'll see anyway. I think it's Explorer Triumph first, but yeah, I might be wrong. Yeah, they do it in the right order because you don't buy anything. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah. David's got Big Boom now over on
Yeah,
the
he
left,
does have
Team
Big Boom.
Ladad, and King Knight is just disappears on the right side of the stage
Yeah.
from Breadpan.
So I wonder if he's gonna do it or not. No, he's not. Okay, too bad. So basically, there is Patois and myself, which we like strat hunting with Big Boom because it was kind of new, and most task strats are kind of not possible to do by hand. So you
Yeah.
have to find new ways to make them work. And we found strats that we call lazy strats because basically we literally don't move with Plague Knight, or not much. And there is a kill that is actually faster than what damn it, did. That is actually Plague not moving at all, minus the end, because you actually
my
have to
kind of
dodge King
strat.
Knight at some point. Yeah.
I should learn those strats then, because I like not moving.
So here we are in the hub with Mona, where you can buy upgrades that we will not buy because it needs a lot of money, and you also need the green coins to unlock them. And the problem is that the only ones you get are kind of bad. Like, for example, if you watch New Game Plus, you're like, holy shit! Plague Knight is like Samus in Metroid, but with everything, which is pretty much it. Because you have like in New Game Plus we use the speed potion, we use the how's it called again in Metroid? Well, the spin thing that kills enemies basically.
Oh yeah, the screw
So-
attack.
Yeah, the screw attack. There you go. So we use a lot of things like that, and the problem is that all those things they are at the very end of the unlock tree. I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
And you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get like 50 coins and I can unlock the thing at the end. No, you have to unlock them in order. So you need like 100 coins or something like that to actually get them. So yeah. So the only time you see them is 100% and New Game Plus.
Okay.
So here we
got
have.
Plague Knight in the Plague Knight stage.
Yeah, exactly. So who is gonna be the boss?
I don't know. I
gonna
assumed
call?
you were just gonna fight like. I feel like if this was another indie game, you might just fight like a reskin of yourself. But I like
Yeah.
the touch that Yacht Club does on this one.
Yeah. Oh, well, too bad. So basically what David was supposed to do, he was supposed to burst in, walk a bit, then burst again and use Big Boom. And with Big Boom, you can actually one-cycle this boss. It's doable. It's really, tight, and that's unfortunate.
We might see it now.
Death. But it's
Dr. Knight
insanely
going down there
tight.
for Bread taking down Spectre.
The closest I ever got to get that in one cycle is one hit away, unfortunately.
Okay.
So an
So-
interesting thing also with Big Boom is that you see a cross pattern, right?
Yes.
Interestingly enough, that pattern is actually two different hitbox, the vertical one and the horizontal one. So if you hit down the middle, you get two hits instead of one.
Okay. That is
Yeah.
a big boom.
It is Big Boom. That's why I love it. There you go, the ladder skip. Like in
Oh,
Shovel Knight, a
nice.
different setup. Perfect. A bit easier to do with Plague because the setup is like just doing like big. You do a burst, double drum, and then a burst and double drum again. Pretty easy to do. So,
Yeah, Plague Knight has
yeah.
this double jump that so you can jump, you can double jump, and then if you're holding attack, you can then burst. And so you
Exactly.
basically have 3 jumps before you ever have to touch the ground.
exactly.
Hey, can I pop in with a donation real quick?
Certainly.
Yeah, sure.
We got some huge donations just now. Anonymous 557 with a $168 donation. Holy cow! They said die cancer. You don't belong in this world. And then right after, Applesauce himself gave $400.
Holy shit.
400. And they said thanks for having
Goes
us.
to Apple.
Yeah, and now we're at 2,400 total. It's insane. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We got to update the UI now. We need a bigger bar.
What,
We
what
actually
do you,
do.
What should we put it? What should we put it? You guys decide. Let us know.
Look, my name's not Strizer, That sounds like a question for the big man himself. Plague Knight being defeated.
By Shovel Knight. Wait. Oh, it's game
Wow.
over. Oh,
Shovel Knight wins
well,
again.
Yeah, he does. So yeah, funny fact about Plague Knight campaign is that it happens exactly at the same time, or actually slightly before Shovel Knight campaign. And when I mean slightly before, it's like a couple seconds or couple minutes before Shovel Knight. And basically here you are basically being you are the boss, so you are basically being the boss against Shovel Knight, but you are playing the boss. And obviously Shovel Knight can't lose because he's the protagonist, so he has to win.
course.
But funny story is that Gecko Glimpse told us that basically you are seeing Shovel Knight campaign, but from the eyes of Plague Knight. But he's telling the story about it, so he's changing some stuff. And he's like, yeah, Shovel Knight is kind of not a cool guy because I beat him and then he attacked me in the back and so he actually won and yeah. But then Plague go and steal the soul, not the soul, but the power of Shovel Knight for the potion he wants to make to impress Mona. So here we have Breadpan trying to unlock Shovel Knight. Unfortunately, he didn't get the icon skip. So basically, Shovel Knight. Oh yeah, we have two things to explain. But basically, Shovel Knight at some point will heal, and there is a way to skip it, but it's really tight, and usually people just mash and hope to get it.
That's all I've ever done.
Yes, me too, to be honest. And also, there is a reason why they are less than 2 bubble health. It's because when you are less than 2 bubble health, Shovel Knight will not use the phase locket, which obviously loses time because if he phases, he's invincible for like a long time.
Basically cheating.
Yeah, and also there's actually a pretty funny story about that. So, Plague Knight can actually collect the items of Shovel Knight in the game to trade them for his own items to Chester. And I remember Moonshot, Taiwan, and myself being like, wait a minute. If we have the phase locket, Shovel Knight should not have it, right?
Yeah.
That would make sense. And then we tried, we had the phase locket, and then we saw Shovel Knight using the phase locket. And we're like, yeah, Cloud Games, that doesn't make any sense. And they were like, yeah, but it's from Plague Knight perspective, so he can say whatever he wants. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
And maybe there's more than one phase locket. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe there's a whole phase locket store.
Which makes it weird, because technically the phase locket is the locket of Spectre Knight, so you're like, okay.
You know, things start getting complicated when you release 4 different games. So.
But we'll talk about Spectre story later. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We will deal with that later. I'll be dealing with that with David, if I remember correctly. Or
Yeah, David will hop.
Yeah.
David's gonna hop on after this run, and
let's go.
we're all trying to play double duty, keep everybody informed.
So
Thank you
we are
for-
facing Treasure Knight. A pretty easy fight for Plague, to be fair, because you just stay in the air and just mash the bombs until he dies. We have Big Boom for the dad, so it's a bit easy. You get a bit more DPS than usual, but it's not much.
Yeah.
Big Boom is more of a... It's a good damaging tool, but it's more of a movement tool, because you can get rid of a lot of blocks in one go, because just everything explodes. You can get rid of... you can get through some enemies as well. And there's gonna be something weird that's gonna happen in Flying Machine, but I'll talk about it later. Until then, we have Breadpan coming up to Double Knight. The one and only.
Knight.
Funny enough, the only boss that is in his room when you arrive. It doesn't need to appear out of nowhere. That's a pretty good kill from so far from Breadpan. Let's go. And the last one.
You
There we
basically just
go.
hover. Throwing the
Yeah,
bombs as well gives you a little bit of hover, and especially in the water stage, like we saw David, you basically just hover infinitely. But it looked like David did Treasure Knight stage, and now is doing Mole Knight, so we're all over the place. Team
Yeah, it's kinda
Ladad
weird.
still in the lead by about half a stage, probably.
Yeah, he's... Yeah, it was like 2 stages ahead, but, well, close to the stage ahead, but since he had to take Big Boom, and unfortunately that's a death.
Oh, the
Yeah.
instant kill lava. It'll get you every time.
Oh, yes, it does. So something that's kind of weird with Plague Knight is that since you are going so fast and always in the air, it's kind of hard to have, how I'm gonna call that, setups for
Yeah.
your movement. So usually it's visual setups, but you arrive so fast that sometimes you're like, oh, I pressed too early or I pressed too late. So there you go. For example, here you use 2 big booms to destroy
Nice.
the platform through the wall and, well, through the floor, rather. And then you gain a bit of time. It's a bit less risky because Plague Knight with his bombs, it can destroy everything and every block. So if you use one by accident, you kind of kill yourself. So yeah, you need to be careful about that. So he's gonna do the same thing. There you go. Big boom explodes both the gray blocks and the, how do you call that in Minecraft again? Those blocks that do weird things. They can do weird things. I don't remember. Whatever.
I have no idea. Redstone. That's what chat
Redstone.
says.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, chat.
We got Mole Knight coming up again for David and Ladad.
And they, oh, too bad, he missed 2, so he's gonna use, oh, yeah, he was supposed to use another big boom there, but that's fine. He'll get it.
Hovering on the side of the stage here. There we go.
Nice. So basically that fight, you just need to be able to hit him twice when he goes across the room with 2 bombs. And the advantage of Big Boom is that it's so slow to go down, then you can fire it preemptively and hit Mole Knight when he appears, and you can still get the 2 bombs. So you do 3 damage instead of 1 compared to the normal route. But here we have Breadpan going very smoothly through this. I was gonna say Stranded Ship. No, that's another ship.
You did skip a couple levels there. Yeah, the Treasure Knights, the
Yeah,
Iron
Iron
Whale.
Whale. There you
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm old. I've been running this
I
game for
rarely-
9 years, so I'm getting old.
I have a bad habit of calling things by just what I call them in my head and not what they're actually called in the game. And then David, it looks like he's playing in maybe Chinese or Japanese, so I can't even...
Japanese, yeah, he
can't
likes to
even
play with
read.
Japanese for the colors actually. The color palette for Shovel Knight in Japan is different to be able to be closer to what Japanese like, I guess, if I remember correctly,
Okay.
or it's culturally related. I don't remember exactly. And so, like in Shovel Knight, we go to Flying Machine first because the most powerful item of Plague Knight is also in this stage. And you know what? It's also the case for Spectre Knight. Don't worry, we'll do it too.
Everybody except King Knight
King, yeah.
gets something powerful in this stage.
I don't remember what he doesn't get anything. Oh, yeah, that.
The
So there is a
Hoverini
strat
and the
actually.
spikes.
Yeah, there's actually a strat with Big Boom to guarantee to not get pushed by this guy. Because for some weird reasons, when you use Big Boom, physics kind of stop working for a second. And so that way you can actually nullify the wind of that guy and just get through him.
Oh.
And so basically, for example, when you use when you want to damage boost with Plague Knight, you throw a bomb the opposite way to turn around, right? If
Yeah.
you do that with Big Boom, you don't lose any momentum.
Okay.
And so that way
David-
you actually gain a lot of time. But yeah, David
Taking
learned
it-
recently the route, so yeah, it's kind of...
Taking a death there after the checkpoint to heal up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentionally for the heal, but it was convenient for the heal.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
both runners in Stranded or in Flying Machine. I think we're both in the same level, both on World 3. Don't think we're no more route deviations. I don't
Yeah.
think.
There might be one, because David is really low on money, and we need to buy 2 power upgrades after this stage. No, after the next one? I don't remember. Anyway, we need to buy 2 power upgrades, and he's really low on money, so he might not be able to do that. And
Okay.
and the stick that we just got cost 9,000
Yeah.
gold, so it's pretty expensive. So usually the way Plague Knight tries to not use too much money is by getting the item from the item from the Shovel Knight campaign and trade it to what's it called again? Chester, so he gets it for free actually.
Yeah.
Because Chester's like, oh, I want that thing, but I have that thing. Do you want to trade, basically?
Oh yeah.
And to be honest, Chester is a bit ripping off Plague Knight. Because you consider that the cane is worth 9,000 and the propeller dagger is worth 4,000, or like, yeah,
Not a fair
he made a
trade.
profit.
Yeah.
Chester made a profit, that's for sure. They're getting pretty close to each other actually, because like, yeah, Breadpan is like 3 rooms behind now. In terms
Yeah,
of
on that
items, there's
all
no more
scrolling,
items.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get see something funky on the side of David soon enough. Because if you remember the flying dagger strat we did here in Shovel Knight, well, we do the same with Plague. But with the burst. Oh, I missed it by a pixel. That's unfortunate. Oh well.
Almost got it.
Yeah. Hopefully Breadpan will get it. There's also an early strat where you can actually burst up there earlier, but really a bit risky because, well, spikes, you know.
All the wind and spikes is just nerve-wracking.
They very much are. Is he gonna do the lazy strat for Proper because there's also one for him? No, he's not. He has the cane. He's gonna do the normal one. Okay, there you go.
Ooh,
We've,
Stain, there we go.
Nice, perfect. He got the classic
Nice.
strat perfectly. Nice, nicely done. Yeah. With Big Boom, you can actually cut a cycle of him dashing.
Okay. We've yet to see Propeller Knight go.
That was risky, but nicely done.
And let's see Bread and Team Bean on Propeller Knight as well.
Should be pretty much the same kill. Ah, he's going for that. Okay. Now he cut one cycle.
Oh,
There you go,
that
perfect.
was a very fast kill. I got him up into the corner quickly.
Yeah, he did cut the cycle with the cane. A bit more risky because you need to time perfectly your jump afterwards, but hey. Oh, the worst fight in the game. I'm calling it.
Black Knight 2.
So it's not that hard to stun lock him, but for some reason he can do a jump, a frame perfect jump to get out of the. There you go.
Oh,
Exactly that one.
tried.
Then
Oh,
again.
Oh,
And the problem is that he jumps and turns around at the same time for some reason, so he turns around, so it's kind of weird. But if you also if
There
you
we
throw
go.
your bomb too early, he gets behind Black Knight, and so he gets damage boosted the other way.
oh, he
You need to
goes
be
for,
careful with that.
okay.
Yeah. But let's see how he's gonna go. Oh no, I thought he was gonna go for the crazy. I burst early and then I go. There you go. And yes. Oh, he's gonna go.
Oh.
There you go. They
It's
went for
not
for
free.
the double hits.
Like, yeah.
So on Black Knight and Shovel Knight, you can actually get double hits by throwing like one bomb, two bombs, one bomb, two bombs. But basically, you're spamming 3 bombs.
Yeah.
And I hope David learned it. But there is a setup for Shovel Knight in the boss rush for that. But we'll see.
We're in stranded
brother-
ship now.
But that is not there yet. So there you go. David has to go to stranded ship first because he doesn't have enough money. But Breadpan is gonna go buy his 2 power upgrades. And he actually doesn't have enough money. He just realized. So now you need to trade in the songs. There you go. And now he has enough
Okay.
because he needs 10.5k, 3,000 for the first one, and 7,500 for the second one. There you go. Perfect. And now you leave on the left. You stop talking to her. Oh, he's playing safe. Okay, he's buying the big potion to heal.
Okay.
So yeah, Plague Knight can actually have potion with him. You can see that David has 1 potion on the left of his life bar, and Tolu, Breadpan has 4. What it does, unfortunate for David. I guess I'm not the only one getting killed by Hammer Bros today.
Yeah. Taking a pit death there, yeah.
So yeah, those potions, basically what they do, they heal you for 1 health, and they give you an extra HP temporarily until your next death, basically.
Okay.
So it can be nice to have if you want to make your run safe, but... Oh, there you go, perfect, there you go. With Big Boom, you just kill them and you explode the blocks at the top as well. So you actually gain a bit of time, you don't have to deal with that. Oh, Breadpan is getting so close. Insane. Comeback is real. But to be fair, Breadpan is a war record holder, so...
Yeah.
It is
Tried to-
expected, I guess.
Tried to stagger things out here and there to keep the race as entertaining for the audience as possible.
There you go. And now this room. It's kind of a jump scare. There you go. Oh.
There's so many
Nice.
gaps in the snow that you oh.
Oh, nice image boost on the hammer from Breadpan there. And now we are gonna fight Polar Knight. He's gonna do the normal kill. There you go.
David still needs
bit
to go buy some
slow.
upgrades, so he's gonna.
Yeah.
Breadpan's gonna gain some time after this stage, regardless.
I think he's gonna end up ahead if he doesn't die to, well, death first. The jump scare, like I like to call it. There you go. And the damage boost on the dragon, perfect. That's literally the way to do it. Perfectly done from Breadpan. That's gonna see the kill. So here's it's gonna be a bit more classic. Ooh. Yeah, the other way around. Yeah.
Getting in the corner
Ooh.
there. All right, David going to get his upgrades. Looks like he's got more than enough money.
Oh yeah, he does. He even buys the health first. There you go. Okay, there we go. He's still gonna pull ahead a bit. Okay, still have a bit of time ahead. That's nice. In the meantime, Breadpan is gonna go straight into Clockwork Tower. There we go. So Clockwork Tower is not specifically a hard stage for Plague Knight. There's not much. Minus one small detail. And that small detail is an auto-scroller, which is not really one, but we'll see. But it's a lot of like destroying blocks, moving fast, not caring too much about enemies. Oh, here there is like, very nice. That's actually super hard to do. Like the enemy is so big that you have like a few pixels to get through him, otherwise you don't.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. We don't care about the mobile gear. We don't want it. Mainly because Plague Knight can't use it. Pretty good movement from David so far. And from Breadpan as well. So here, we're gonna do a skip. There you go, damage boost. We're gonna damage boost on that ferry. There you go. And we get across. Perfect. One of the examples is that the knight you just saw, like, went through, is not the same color is not gonna be the same color on Breadpan's stream. You're gonna see. There you go, perfect. There. He has a yellow like thing at the top instead of a purplish white one. Kind of the small differences from the Japanese version compared to the rest of the world. And now if you have donations, it would be the perfect time actually. If we do. Maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe not. Please donate. David being smart, using a potion to be able to buy to get an extra one. So now, as you can see, he has an extra HP instead of an extra HP being green. So if he dies, he's gonna lose it, unfortunately. Hopefully, he's not gonna die.
Yes. Hopefully.
Well, for my team, I would like him to die, but
Oh yeah. We can't.
As I say, I love Big
Tinker
Boom.
Knight though.
yeah. So Tinker Knight takes double damage from explosions, surprisingly enough. Well, that version of Tinker Knight, the small Tinker Knight, not the Tinker Tank. And the cane does explosive damage.
Okay.
Why? I don't know.
It's Plague Knight.
That was a nice damage. Holy shit. There you go. And go down.
Phase
Perfect.
2 down for David and Ladad.
Very nice.
Team Bean and Breadpan right, bringing it back.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna do a slightly different version, but it's way faster. There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
There's so many projectiles up there on that fight. They make it look easy, not having
Yeah.
to come back down to the ground and just take that whole health bar down.
And there you go. We have all the things that I don't remember the name of them to make the potion. But actually, we are missing one. We were still gonna make the potion. That's fine because we can actually put it later on in it. But we need the one from Enchant first, unfortunately. And so yeah, something interesting is that if you remember when we met Mona against Black Knight 2, Mona is like, oh, you are more with the Mana Girl than you like the Mana Girl and you don't like me or stuff like that. I don't remember exactly, basically. But basically they get in an argument. And so Monag just run away. And Percy, the horse that you see from time to time, it doesn't help because it's like, kind of like trolling a bit Plague. But anyway, now we are finally in the tower, the first part of the tower at least. Wait. David, what do you do there? Just breaking checkpoints for the heck of it, I guess.
You gotta make up for that money he didn't get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how, as somebody who's run Shovel and Plague, how much do you like take from Shovel into Plague, or is it just like starting from scratch?
Most. Oh, that's so unfortunate. What happened to David? Anyway, so for me at least, the level design is pretty much the same. So you know the stages ahead of time. But when it comes to pure gameplay, nothing is alike. Because even the base jump of Plague is different because it barely jumps at all. It's a bit more floaty. Well, and nothing is alike. But yeah, you keep the design, you keep the boss fights. And that's something actually for the later campaigns that Yakuza Games will decide to change, because at first they were all the knights were supposed to be in the same level design.
Yeah.
And that's why it took them 7 years to release everything. Because they decided, oh, Spectre is going to be his own game and King Knight is going to be his own game. And, well, let's go.
Yeah, it's always interesting coming back and playing Plague or playing Shovel in the same levels, because they do. They just play completely differently. We got Black Knight 3 almost simultaneously. Both our runners coming up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that was a nice setup that David tried, and okay, nice. So Breadpan got so basically your goal with Plague against Black Knight is to skip the teleportation phase.
Okay.
And that way is that you force him to start it. You plant a bomb on him when he's trying to start it, and he's gonna get hit by it, and it's gonna cancel that phase. So David tried to do it with the big boom. He didn't get it, unfortunately, and Breadpan actually got it with just a bomb, or the cane. I don't remember. Because you can't really. There is a stun lock for Black Knight, but it's so insanely hard compared to the Shovel one that usually you want to force him to transform and then kill him faster that way by using staff, because it's way bigger it box. It doesn't go into like. He doesn't have iframes when he's in. I'm gonna call that the Valkyrie Griffin mode. I don't know.
Oh, when he has the wings. Okay.
Oh, Breadpan! Holy shit! He scared me with the like, hey, David, too. Hold on. Oh, whoa! Calm down, guys.
They're neck and neck. They're feeling it. They're feeling the heat. Feeling the competition. They're right together.
And yeah, as you can see here, the stage is pretty much the same. Minus, for example, here, you have sometimes some level design that have been changed, because then I literally could not do this room without that.
Gotta have a little bit of a help there to get through.
Yeah. And if you remember, I told you that we needed to be below 2 health against Shovel Knight to avoid the phase lockout. So we will see people taking damage here, probably, or maybe not. I don't know. Depends on who does what. But there you go. Breadpan's gonna take some damage. There you go. He's at 3.5. That should be good enough. I like to be at 4 bubble personally, but and here we have David at 5. So yeah, that should be plenty. Because the biggest problem with the Shovel Knight boss rush, well, the Plague Knight boss rush, is that you are constantly on low health because of Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight is always at the end.
Oh.
So you are forced to do that like that, and I'll let you imagine what it is to do Plague low percent and Plague low percent New Game Plus, for example, which I will never do again.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Low percent ever again as well. Because low percent is kind of weird in this category, is because you have the green coins, right?
Yeah.
And those green coins are part of the percentage of the game. So like, oh, I need to dodge all of them. If I get 1 coin, I need to reset the stage.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. It's another obstacle.
Yeah. But anyway, so here they're not going to heal because they want to set up the health for Shovel Knight at the end. But the rules of the boss rush are the same as Shovel Knight, so we will see Polar in the 3 first bosses. Well, unless he's first or second. Oh, let's go!
The staff on Spectre Knight. I love seeing the stuff you can do with the relics you didn't have.
Yeah. So here we are.
Polar Knight
David with Polar first.
Okay. Got the scary one out of the way.
So something that is kind of weird for Shovel Knight and Plague Knight is that most bosses don't have ceilings. Have ceilings rather in the room, minus Poplar. And you are a bit above the ground. Because the ground is not the tables, it's actually below the tables. So some bosses have weird patterns compared to their usual room. For example, Mole Knight is gonna dive a bit lower than usual. Because of the tables. Which is kind of weird. And you have other fights where it's a bit annoying. For example, for Shovel Knight Treasure is a bit more annoying because you don't have the ceiling to use it. But for Plague, usually it's not that much of a problem. The only thing that might be a problem is that the fact that the platform are a bit too close to the tables. But other than that, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So here we're gonna see Tinker Knight getting destroyed by the cane. Not much. There you go. Oh, they're both on Tinker, actually.
Yeah, both on Tinker, both as they're with 3 more after.
Yeah. So, and here you saw David dodging the chicken and Breadpan as well, because you don't want to heal, actually.
Yes.
So here Breadpan is at 2 health, so now he kind of don't want to get hit anymore. But if you get hit, it's fine, because you have the potions that give you an extra health, so it might help you. Oh, nice damage from Breadpan there. There you go. The other way around. There you go. Not gonna fish him with the staff. Just gonna fish him normally. Even having a bit of a hard time on Treasure Knight, unfortunately. But he wants to take damage, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess that's gotta be tough to relearn these fights and know where you can take damage when you're used to avoiding it.
I think the order is random. You can't really.
Yeah.
Like, if you take damage by accident because you didn't do it on purpose. So,
both
we're gonna
2 health,
see.
or almost 2 health, David.
So David's a setup for the
1.5.
Sunlock. For Plague, it's gonna be Big Boom. He didn't do it, unfortunately. So he's gonna do the same one, actually. Then Breadpan lost the Sunlock. Needs to heal in a... There you go. Ooh. It's close. So yeah, and it's kind of hard. You can't. There is not really a setup to avoid the healing from Shovel Knight in the boss rush, unfortunately.
Oh, David
nice kill
getting
by
the
David.
kill first. Okay.
Very nice.
Because Bread had to heal all the way up to full.
So here Breadpan healed to full because Shovel Knight was low enough that he's not going to use the Fizzle Cat anymore.
Okay.
So that was a good strategy from him. A good plan. But now the fun part begins. Because if you remember the fight against Enchantress, you have blocks helping you. But Plague destroyed them pretty easily, so you need to be careful with that. Specifically with Big Boom. Because one Big Boom just removed one vertical row, one column of blocks straight away. So you're like, yeah, I'm not going to use it too much.
Yeah, that creates another obstacle during the fight. Is you're getting rid of your own platforms.
It does. So also the advantage that Plague has is that every time you finish a world, so there you go, he gets an extra health for free. So usually Plague Knight is a bit easier health-wise compared to Shovel Knight because you end up with 7 health at the end instead of 4.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to get out of the way if you want to make an easier run with Plague instead of Shovel Knight. Where Shovel Knight you would have to buy food or get food in the camps and stuff like that, or the tickets rather. There we go. There is a setup to know where the blocks are gonna appear, so that's fine. So yeah, he's not gonna use Big Boom for Enchantress, understand that. Like the task uses it, but yeah, I don't either because I tend to kill myself instead of killing Enchantress. So he's gonna go below the ground. Yeah, no, he's gonna do it safe. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Oh no! Oh, nice! Oh no! Ah, too bad. He should have busted a. Oh well, Breadpan is dead too.
Oh wow!
So the problem with the Enchantress kill is that you're kind of forced to hunt her under the box, like I did, for example, with Shovel Knight earlier.
Yes.
Let's go the low percent strat that saved me some time because I failed the kill.
You can end up having to do that on King Knight as well if you don't get the kill quick enough. She's just under the stage for so long. There we go on David and Bread Pan.
Whoa.
All right.
The Spectre runners might have to start on the same time.
And we've got our Spectre runners in the wing, waiting for the cue from their teammates. Both of our runners on the final phase of the last boss. Time for the Plague Knight campaign will be on the final hit of the Enchantress.
By the way, Dan, do you remember that you talked to me about fighting like a doppelganger of yourself, right?
Yes.
It's now. It's actually the real form of Plague in Shovel Knight, because the one we are using for the Plague campaign is actually we call it Chibi Plague.
Oh yeah, because it's not the full.
It's not the same one, yeah.
Yeah.
And Plague in this fight is actually worse than for Shovel Knight. It's actually way more random, and well, there you go. David lost a bit of time, and now we're gonna fight Relay. Wait, it's not Shovel Knight. What? It's not Metroid. What I'm talking about. Well, there you go. He's gonna fight you with broccoli and stuff. Why not? So here we need to break the glass of the thing he's standing on. There you go, and then hit it once. So we want to two-cycle this boss. There you go. Half health for Bread Pan. Perfect. More than half health for David. Let's go.
Nice.
He's gonna get the... go. Time for Bread Pan. Let's go. And David... Oh,
just almost there.
And the broccoli. There you go.
And
There
time
we go,
for
time.
David. All right, on the right, we've got Spectre Knight starting out for Team Bean. This is Amps. On the left, we've got Lukey 13. Almost a simultaneous start. Let's get some GGs in chat for our Plague Knight runners, Bread Pan, and David. Keeping this thing as close as you could possibly imagine. David is going to jump in here and lend his voice for some commentary with this Exploud now. I'm going to get ready for King Knight action. So, GG's, David.
Thank you so much. Ready to join right in for this Spectre race.
All right, and I will be waiting in the wings. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, Dan. Hey, David. I'm David. Who are you?
I'm David. How about you?
Damn.
Well, actually, I'm
David.
Exploud number 2.
I'm Exploud 0. Oh, wait.
No, you're Exploud 1.
I'm Exploud 1. I don't know anymore.
Okay, look. You're David 0 and Exploud 1. I'm David... Which one am I again? I don't know.
I don't know anymore. Anyway.
Our runners... Yeah. So, going into Spectre Knight, Spectre Knight doesn't quite fly through the air like Plague Knight does. Instead, he's got kind of some Ninja Gaiden-ish inspired moves, the ability to dash through enemies in the air. Lukey's taking the safety health.
And someone missed a skull that he actually needs. Let's go. There we go.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about skulls. So, in the Shovel and Plague campaigns, you could just get your sub-weapons, Relics and Arcana respectively, by having enough money for them. But in the Spectre campaign, you must have enough skulls in order to have a chance to purchase your sub-weapons.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing with the coins in Plague, as I said, is that it's too expensive to get the good stuff, so you don't use it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a good loadout, but even just unlocking it takes too much time.
Yeah. Missed the sunlock on Black Knight, so we have to deal with him on the ground, with Terrapin on the ground as well, being annoying.
Yeah, Black Knight changes up in this campaign, being on a turtle. The turtle is very annoying. Lukey's getting a perfect fight there. You kind of just bounce off Black Knight a whole lot, and the second waterfall from the right is a good visual cue for when you need to hit. It's not just going as fast as possible. You gotta time it carefully.
And unfortunately, he dead. Oof. Yeah. The problem is that Black Knight is super easy if you get the sunlock, and he becomes a nightmare if you have to deal with him and Terrapin at the same time. So yeah. The best herb in the game, by the way.
Yeah, you can just go straight to any level that you want at the beginning. We no longer have this division of worlds 1, 2, and 3. And so naturally, we're going to Flying Machine first because Flying Machine always has the best upgrade of any level.
Yeah. In any minus King Knight, but yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there you go. Nice double dash with the wall jump.
I'm already noticing that Amps left behind a money bag, which makes me a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
Money routing is kind of tight for the first couple of stages. That's one of the reasons that we're doing Flying Machine first, because the different stages have different monetary rewards depending on how difficult the developers think the stage is. And so Flying Machine, as one of the toughest stages, awards you 3,000 gold at the end of it. Plus it has an auto-scroller to make it even more possible to collect more money. All the same, after this stage, you want to be at about 8,400 gold. Do I have that number right? It's been a while since I ran Spectre.
To be honest, I don't know, because I've literally run Spectre 80% maybe 10 times, and I've only done low percent for this. I've been out of the loop, to be honest.
That's pretty fair. Any percent and low percent for Spectre are very different runs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we'll see that after this stage. But yeah, the Flying Machine has an auto-scroller, so you actually have plenty of time to get any coins in this auto-scroller.
I'm actually scared for... Amps is on the left, right?
Amps is on the right.
On the right. I'm a bit scared for him because he didn't get the coin that is hidden behind the wall. And it's 200 right there, if I remember correctly.
I don't fully recall, but
I'm a bit scared for the money. It's really low. Holy. Yeah, it's really low. We'll see. Maybe he's not using the same route as... I actually don't know.
Oh, that's true. It is entirely possible that Amps could be on the old Skeletal Sentry route. Except Skeletal Sentry would require even more money at the end of the stage.
That's true. Yeah, actually, that's true. It's more expensive than the basketball. True.
Yeah, Luki's finally leaving up a checkpoint, which, thank goodness, because this is the triple Jawa room, and, well, nobody likes Jawas, especially a room with 3 of them. They move very randomly, have a tendency to blow you off the stage.
Tell me about it. I tell you about it.
Tell me about it. Jawas weren't very nice to me either. Alright.
Anyway.
Propeller Knight kill is going to be fairly specific. Step forward, get a few ground slashes on him as he goes through, timing those slashes very carefully. 9 hits on the first phase is alright. You're always going to see that floor break, and then hope for Propeller to be on the right side during phase 2. We're staying on the ground for this. Yeah, that was a very good Propeller kill, because if you do your air dashes, you're going to bounce into the air every time, and that's...
I see Amps on the right being stressing me out a bit.
The Jawas want blood today. They're hungry. Somebody did not feed them.
They were like, wait, a relay? We want to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The most broken item in the game. Let's go.
Judgment Rush. Yeah. So, Spectre has to collect his skulls in order to unlock his sub-weapons. They're called curios. And some curios cannot be unlocked until you've completed certain stages. So we want to complete Flying Machine not only to unlock the Judgment Rush curio, but to unlock the Rail Mail Armor upgrade, which allows Spectre to skate on the ground, and thus he doesn't quite fly like Plague, but he's nearly as fast, and he's a skater boy. He says, "See ya later, boy."
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's gonna Amps is gonna miss like around 500 for the mail, which is unfortunate.
No, he looks about right for where he needs to be. It's 2,400 gold to unlock the armors, and then 6,000 to get the rail mail.
Maybe later is gonna be a problem. considering that he needs to unlock the upgrades for the basketball. I mean, he can do one extra stage before unlocking it, so that would be fine. But it's unfortunate on the left.
Yeah, speaking of basketball, that informs our second stage, the Explodatorium. This is, again, a difficult stage where the pots are all on a cycle from the beginning of the stage, where Lukey is right now basically gates part of the level.
Yeah.
But, like, let's talk about Judgment Rush a bit. Judgment Rush is a very useful weapon. You use it, and you delay for a little bit, and then you target an enemy on the screen, and you just rush to where they are and do an attack. Very useful weapon, can get you through some walls, get you some shortcuts. And it is a very broken weapon, but there are actually things about it that make it less useful than it might seem. Useful is not the right word for it. It is very useful, and it can be very fast, but Rail Mail is very fast too, and the Judgment Rush has a long wind-up when you start to use it before it actually fires off.
Yeah.
So there are several places where, if you know the strats, you could do a much tougher but much quicker strat of just rail mailing through everything.
Yeah, both, like, it's really the perfect usage of both that makes this run pretty insane and pretty hard, I feel like, because personally, it's the only any-person run that I literally cannot do properly for some reasons.
Yeah, Spectre Knight probably has the biggest difference between any percent and low percent play.
Yeah, definitely. But speaking of low percent, wait,
yeah,
it's not
we
the same fight as before. What's happening?
There's 3 of him. That's... I mean, we had one Plague Knight, and then we had all Plague Knight, now we have 3 Plague Knight. What'll come next?
I don't know. So there's actually a way to tell which Plague Knight is the right one, because the fake have a slightly different color than him. I don't remember exactly, but I think the fakes are darker than him and have like purple or orange like bracers instead of purple bracers, or the opposite. I don't remember exactly, but you can tell basically.
Yeah. The real Plague has a purple flask and is a slightly darker shade of green.
There you go.
But we do have this dream sequence or memory sequence that is exclusive to Spectre Knight. Back to when he was alive, he was named Donovan. And, oh my god, I forgot his partner's name.
I don't remember.
It starts with an L. Can anybody help me out here? Luan, thank you, applesauce.
God, there you go. For some reason, I was going to say Lucian. For some reason,
no, it starts with. Oh, I haven't played this game in a while.
Well, I was retired, so.
True. You did really well, though. You did very well.
I think I was like 30 seconds off my PB actually with 2 deaths.
Anyways, you don't bring your rail mail into the dream sequence, so you just kind of get through it as normal. But getting through Explodatorium allows you to unlock the Bounding Soul, which is basically going to be your source of damage for the rest of this. So we have a couple of community names for them. Unupgraded as they are, they're kind of purple, roundish. So in its current stage, we call them meatballs. Uncooked meatballs.
Yeah, very uncooked. But speaking of cooking, Lost City.
Lost City.
That's a nightmare.
Your runs go to 2 places to die, either Explodatorium or Lost City.
Yeah, Lost City is pretty bad, to be fair.
Yeah, and like...
Oh, nice.
Money is not as big of a concern anymore, so we're not breaking checkpoints anymore, but Lost City is still a very difficult stage to... that was close.
The first bad room, I was going to say.
Oh, some good backups on Lukey's part.
Nice.
One of the things that the Judgment Rush can do is... So you might have seen Spectre's ability to climb on walls. Well, he can only do that for a little bit before he stalls out and then falls off the wall. But if you use a Judgment Rush while on the wall and you have no target, then he will reset his wall climb.
It's actually going to be useful later on, right?
It's useful in a lot of
actually-
places. I don't know, I haven't seen this one in a few years.
Well,
But
you have
I know
instead of here in this room, instead of putting two slimes on one side on the left and one side on the right, you're going to be at the end,
Bounding
gonna be
Soul
only
to
putting
hit it
one on the
left. Yeah.
So he is just gonna put it on the right and then up, and there you go.
Yeah,
Use it one time,
yeah,
perfect.
that's it.
It's one of those examples where you're gonna use it a bit more. Are we gonna see the... Is the skip is still there? I don't remember, because I know Yakugan wanted to correct it, but...
Oh, Lost Spaghetti?
yeah, Lost Spaghetti, yeah.
We might. I mean, let's see. He's going for it. He's going
He's
for it.
going
He's
for
going
it.
for it. Oh,
Nope.
he was a little early on the hit, but better to be early on the hit and make the ground solid than to be late on the hit and die. It's possible to phase right through the lava and clip into the room beneath, but the timing on it is tight. So we're going to have the Mole Knight fight, and basically we're going to use Bounding Souls here to hit him as he passes left and right. Then Mole Knight will bounce out, you go to the right wall, delay a little bit, and let him hit the ground before you start slashing at him some more, because if you hit him while he's in the air, then he's going to immediately dive underground. Luckily, he did not get off his Desperation attack. Very good fight.
Yeah, where he becomes green and gooey and starts doing weird stuff that he doesn't do usually.
Yeah. Ooh, I just saw Amps get the good kill on the big guy, and
Oh, there
he's
you
doing
go.
the safer
Nice.
strat, which is to just Judgment Stall off of the blocks there.
That was pretty clean. He's actually getting some ground back, Amps, compared to
Yeah.
Luki, right?
Yeah. Looks
Weird
like a little
names.
bit. Anyways, we've
I don't know
upgraded
those
the
youngsters.
Yeah, Amps is a more veteran runner of Spectre Knight, whereas Luki is a little bit newer, but has all the newest strats. Anyways, we've got the Dark Reese fight here, which is going to involve a very specific setup. The Bounding Soul, having been upgraded, can now phase through your targets, and you can also hit it with your scythe in order to bounce it back. That was an excellent fight. That was very good.
Close to perfect, yeah. The problem with this fight, with Dark Reese, is that technically speaking, you can manipulate the fight. It's just that you just change slightly what you're supposed to do, and then he does something else entirely.
Yeah, so it can be done consistently, but it really takes a lot of practice. And you can't just load up a save and go into Dark Reese fight. You either need a tool like S-Trainer or a specific save or what.
Yeah. Oh, too bad. Yeah, he's supposed to get hit by the snail at the same time he dash on it, but not a big deal. So
Yeah,
in 80% this stage actually not that hard. Minus some one places in there, but
Ooh, railing on the spikes. Yeah, a nice thing about rail mail, those spikes would normally be instant death, but you can actually rail on them safely. Just be careful that you don't bonk into something and then land on the spikes without the rail mail.
yeah,
May or may not have happened before.
don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about me.
Damn.
It's,
Well, me too, to be fair.
well, I mean, it happens to everyone.
Yeah. Especially when you're learning the 80% round for this.
Oh, I'm curious to see what kind of setup they're going to go for Teethlon, because the Bounding Soul, you'll line it up and try to hit the chest on the top, but there's kind of two different setups that I know about. One involves throwing all four on the ground, and it looks like that's the one Luki's going for, but the other one involves firing up from above, throwing a Bounding Soul, bounce off, throw another.
There we go.
Oh, we're going to see a nice strat with the the dirt here, right?
Yeah.
Boom!
there we
Hit the
go.
dirt, dash off of it, and the Bounding Soul can activate those switches. So, Bounding Soul doing double work as a weapon. It can activate things and it does a lot of damage.
Really does. So the big birda is here. Let's go. Freaking
Oh, yeah.
fish.
Oh yeah, Lunkaroth here can be a problem. Lunkaroth can only take damage from either the Dread Talon, Kirio, or the anchors dropping down on her. And since our runners don't really have either of those as options, you just gotta dodge and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Treasure
Well, you
Knight
can
is
set up actually to kill her with the anchor, but it's pretty slow. So.
it's slow, yeah. So Treasure Knight, you're going to step forward, throw out 4 Bounding Souls, hit him as he passes by, step forward, hit him some more. He should have 4 hits left. Wait until he hits the ground and then finish him.
Perfect.
Te-
Literally
text-
perfect.
Textbook Treasure Knight fight. It's like Treasure Knight really shows just
Oh, there
how
you go.
powerful Bounding Soul is. And yeah, Amps is doing the throw out from above, bounce off strat.
Yeah,
He
you
left
leave
some
those
level
bubbles-
platform.
Yeah, it's on purpose. It's just in case if you kill him with the dash, then you don't go to your death, I guess.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stage in this campaign, at least.
Oh yeah, Lichyard is a stage that can have a lot of tricks in it. It's up to you whether you're gonna try to Judgment Rush through the frogs or use Bounding Souls to just allow you to rail mail right through them. And
it's-
Q Dark Runes, no Judgment Rush, just Bounding Soul to get through, Judgment Rush to go down.
Yeah. It's very horizontal too, so you have a lot of rail mail usage in this compared to other stages.
Yeah, I kind of want to mention a little bit the evolution of the any percent route.
Oh, sure.
Because, well, okay, first, Amps is on Treasure Knight. Step forward, take the hit. 4 Bounding Souls, slash, step forward, slash. 4 health up top, finish him on the bottom, perfect. Oh, that is so awesome to see. I love it. But yeah, early versions of Spectre Knight's route, they always went to Flying Machine first, but initially it went to Lichyard second and Clock Tower third in order to get the Skeletal Sentry upgrade, or colloquially we might refer to it as Skelebro, a sentry that you just throw out behind you and then he throws some shots for you. But now we do Bounding Soul, so Lichyard and Clockwork are a lot later. So,
Specifically for this guy, actually.
yeah. So let's see. Phantom
Ooh,
Strike.
yes.
Ooh, straight
yes.
into the phase skip. That's 5 health left. Line up the Bounding Souls.
There we go.
That was a 2 cycle.
Perfect. That's
That
actually
is-
really hard to do.
That's really hard to do. Like, you have to throw out all your Bounding Souls, line them up just right, bounce them just right, so that first you get the phase 1 skip, and then you have to line up all your hits. It's difficult. Speaking of difficult, we've got Memory 2 coming up for Lukey here. If you didn't
That's a
grab the
juicy one.
Caltrops, yeah, if you didn't grab the Caltrops in Memory 1, then Luon will hand them to you automatically. Go Luon, go Luon, go Luon. Oh no, he doubled back. Luon did not go. Boo this Luon. Boo. You want Luon to have his running shoes on, and you want him to run through the room and never stop, and he stopped. Boo this man.
So I have a personal strat that I want to see. Ooh, that was close. Is he gonna do the wall jump on the single block here?
Oh, that's difficult. I have no idea.
Ah,
He
too
tried
bad.
it. He tried
Tried
it.
it. Yes. I
we
remember
got double
Taiwan
plus fights
hating
coming
me
up.
for that because I followed that strategy. He was hating me for that because it was
We have
too
the
hard.
Shield Knight fight, and
Let's
this
go.
one is again another very specific setup. You can't hit Shield
Nice.
Knight from in front, so you're going to throw Caltrops in a specific way to bounce them off her so that she runs over the Caltrops, and you try to set up where you are in order to move it. She's running away. She's running away. Oh,
There we
that's
go.
that's a very good kill. Shield Knight is a fight that gets out of hand rapidly.
Yeah. You can actually kill runs pretty easily if you get out of the hand. So yeah, maybe you need to be careful with it. Especially when she starts throwing her shield around.
Yeah, like once you lose Shield Knight, you just can't get her back. She's gone, and then it's chaos.
And she's gone.
Okay, well, let's hope Luon put on his running shoes for amps. Let's shout,
hopefully.
go Luon, go!
Go, Luan, go. Go, Luan.
Go Luon, go! Go Luon, go! Go Luon, go!
Luan,
Go Luon, go!
Luan, go. Go,
He's
Luan,
going,
go.
he's going.
Yay! It's actually a real reason why we're joking about it. There's actually a reason, because if he's late, you have to wait for him to help you. Otherwise, if he's not late, then you can just jump straight away too. Well, speaking of jumping away, here's a very vertical stage compared to the rest. Playing the Clockwork Tower.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Clockwork Tower.
Ooh, we went for that. Oh my god.
Too bad once you get it. Okay, yes, it's scary. Clockwork Tower is a scary stage because there's. Well, first of all, Clockwork Tower is going to be your longest regular stage in the game on account of having 2 auto-scrollers.
Oh, I don't like the state of the fight of Shield Knight.
Yeah, where
Collapse.
she's starting to get out of control. Throw some caltrops at her. She throws away her shield. Lay down a caltrop.
Better.
She's gonna run over it. She's gonna run over it. Don't jump over it. Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. He got it back. He got it
Good.
back.
Rocky start, but nice finish. So yeah, we betray Luan, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, we've become overcome by our greed. Grabbed the locket despite his and Shield Knight's warnings, and then now we're dead. Could happen to anyone, really.
Really does.
All right, so yeah, Clockwork Tower. It's the longest stage and it has 2 auto-scrollers, but then it gets a little bit worse because none of the checkpoints are in the way. So if you
Yeah.
want to have any kind of safety in this level, you have to go out of your way for a checkpoint. And Luki is not. That midway checkpoint
Yeah.
is the best candidate if you're going to grab one. It's the least out of the way, but he's skipping it, which got to remind you, he has had no checkpoints. So if there's a death somewhere along the way, now
New
thankfully the second half of the stage is easier than the first. But
I know
Ooh,
he's
there-
taking it.
okay, must have taken the
Finally.
safety health. Yeah. And there's good reason for that. So as you might have seen in the Shovel and Plague campaigns, Tinker Knight, at least in his first phase, was a very easy fight. Trivial, just throws things at him and he goes. Not so for the Spectre campaign, because, that mobile gear that was so powerful that caused Tinker Knight so much trouble. Tinker Knight has
Yeah.
it.
I would actually argue that Tinker Phase 1 Inspector it might be harder than his Phase 2. In some cases.
Depends a lot on the strat you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tinker Phase 2 isn't necessarily difficult as a fight, but it's very easy to fall down and lose a lot of
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So,
There you go.
yeah, with this Phase 1 fight, we're going to go forward. Oh, that's a different setup than I'm used to. But he's going... At certain health thresholds, Tinker tries to slam into the wall and get you, but if you go from one of those thresholds to the second threshold, then he interrupts himself. But yeah, he's also flying outside the tank now, and we're going to be throwing out Bounding Souls in a specific way in order to
Not too bad.
make sure Yeah, and if you fall down, Judgment Rush back up, assuming that you have the darkness for it. That's not always going to be true. So, good recovery there from Lukey. Tinker is a surprisingly difficult fight. And, Amps baited out the Duck Knight jump, but didn't quite get the bounce. He's got 3.5 health going into this auto-scroller. So...
Should be fine.
Yeah. Like, Tinker is a fight where I do really want to have a lot of health going into it. I think for me the threshold is like 3 health.
So here Spectre is like, not the one to fight you. Okay, I buy. Basically. King Knight stage. Speaking of things that used to be easy and are not easy anymore, King Knight stage.
Ooh, missed the cycle. Yeah, there's kind of a lot going on in King Knight stage, but what we're going to see at first is Judgment Rush skipping at several of these rooms, and then very potentially you might be seeing Paul Blart Mall Cop. That's the name of his Duck Knight coming up. How is he handling? Damage boost off of it, so Paul Blart is getting his pay today. It's possible to phase through Paul Blart without stopping, but very difficult. If he stops you or he knocks you back or something, he's earned his pay. Oh, and yeah, we're not bothering with the boats. We're just gonna Judgment Stall, climb our way up the wall. Amps is on Tinker. Having a... I don't think... Yeah, that looked like a really good fight. I don't think he had to do any Judgment Rushes.
On phase 2, no, he didn't have to do a single one. I mean, minus the start, obviously, because you're gonna have to do it for the start, but... There you go. Ooh. I'm actually surprised that Lukey went for an extra health at the beginning. Because when I see how he plays, I'm actually... I guess maybe for race safety, maybe?
I mean, it makes sense. Like, the Willful Wisp in the plains is not that far out of the way. Yeah, it's not that far out of the way, and the 1 extra health, it can offer you so much safety. Like, especially against troublemakers like Black Knight 2.
Yeah.
Or even King Knight, who is... Your opening for King Knight is usually going to be the same. You're going to try to bounce off of him, throw out a couple of Bounding Souls, bounce him off so that, yeah, get several hits on him. But then when he hits the ground, the holes in the ground are random. At that point, you gotta improvise the fight, and Lukey didn't take any damage.
That hole on the left.
Yeah, Lukey also took the damage boost on Paul Blart. Oh, he Judgment Rushes there? Interesting. It's okay, there's... Yeah, he's fine. Yeah. He's fine. Everything's fine. There's...
He has health here. So...
Yeah, there's health right here. Yeah. Assuming the Unicorn. Be fine, Unicorn.
Yeah. He doesn't take it? Oh. Not a huge fan of that. Yeah, there you go, yeah.
That's okay, he just got a checkpoint. Yeah. It's right there.
Thank God.
Stranded Ship is going to be a fun stage here. Oh, so yeah, those cool. Blue and red lines, they introduce the rail mechanic, and the blue ones force you to go right, and the red ones force you to go left. So you're going to have to map your way through this stage in a careful way. Oh, Lukey looks like he might be ahead of the cycle.
Nice.
Yeah, he's on a pretty good cycle here. The rainbow statues that you saw in the Shovel and Plague campaigns, they become a mini-boss here, where you just kind of hit it back, throw out some Bounding Souls. And yeah, it's possible to one cycle, not always the easiest, but we're going to start seeing an interesting mechanic here. These switches on the wall that you can hit in order to make some of the walls appear and disappear, but Bounding Soul can activate it. So if you aim carefully, then you can activate those switches. And then the switches here are also going to switch the direction of the rails. So you're going to see Lukey throw out a Bounding Soul here to switch that top rail and skip most of that room. and then Judgment Stall here so he doesn't have to hit that second one.
The checkpoint. There you go.
I must admit, I didn't look at Amps' King Knight fight.
And didn't pay attention either, to be honest. The movement of Luki is so good in this stage that like I'm kind of hypnotized by it to an extent. There you go.
Oh yeah, Stranded Ship is fun to get down, and it's fun to have all these skips.
Yeah. Alright.
So, I think with the Polo Knight fight, you're gonna throw out 2 Bounding Souls, hit him on the slash by, hit 2 more down, and then hopefully... Yeah, it's possible to kill him before he goes down the court like that, but not always easy. Polo Knight is one of those kills that you either get it or you don't. Ooh,
Oh, nice,
Imps
one
got
cycle on
One
Vivos.
cycle on the rainbow statue.
Let's go.
And the double
dash.
hit on that switch.
So there's a weird thing happening with the switch is that when you attack them, you have a weird hit stop that happens for a frame. So sometimes you can do weird stuff like double dashing or maybe losing an input. That can happen too. Oh, it does it like that. Okay, interesting. Oh,
Oh.
unfortunately.
That was interesting. So Luki's going into Tower 1. Damage boost is way up here, and again, like in the other campaigns, Tower 1 is basically a review of everything that you've learned to this point. If you're fast enough, you can skip that book. He's going for the spike strat. That's scary. You have to jump exactly right.
And now this.
The Crusher Room. Yeah, thankfully we're not doing New Game Plus or 100% here, because
Oh yeah.
those have Crusher skips that are difficult to pull off.
Lupus also has a weird timing with that.
Luki grabbed the checkpoint. Alright, Amps is on Polo Knight.
Let's see.
So let's see, we should see head forward, jump over, throw the Bounding Soul out, and he's bouncing off of him. So making masterful use of Spectre Knight's dash mechanic, dash and attack, in order to make sure that he's always where he needs to be afterward. Very good fight on Amps' end.
Yeah. Something that we have not talked a lot, I think. I'm not sure about Shona because I was running. But you don't want to kill bosses at the top of the screen. Because you have to wait they fall down on the ground before the victory pose starts. You actually want to kill them on the ground. For example, Treasure Knight jumps in the water, so you have to wait. Specifically him, because it goes down insanely slowly to the ground. Because he's in the water, so you have to wait for a long time. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a reason that a lot of runners split on Fade to Black or split on Gold rather than split on Last Hit on Boss.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of bosses, we've got Black Knight 2 coming up.
Oh, yeah,
And if Black Knight 1 looked like trouble... Wow, Amp's got an even faster version of the spike strat. Oh.
Well, let's go.
So yeah, Black Knight, he's on a turtle again, and it flies. Luki has gone with the knock him down and do the tango strat, which is basically you fight him on the ground and you do a dance. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. When Black Knight has one hit left, he will always jump back onto the turtle, but he leaves himself a window of opportunity to be vulnerable there. So. Excellent fight by Luki.
Yeah. And you don't want him to get early on Terrapin, otherwise you have to deal with him in the air, which is... Oh yeah, Terrapin can fly. Because why not?
That's not fair. It's just not.
It's not. It's really not. Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, he
He's
has
gonna-
to stall
he's
it.
he's gonna make it.
There you
He's
go.
gonna make it. I believe.
Nice.
And
So
he's not
speaking
gonna
of
heal.
dumb strats, here's another one. Oh, he's not going for it.
No,
there
no,
you
he is. Yeah. So in this version of the Tower of Hera, you could just, hang out in the upper right.
Nice.
Oh, and then you can go back through the previous room before the blocks leave. So they'll be there, so you can stand on them, rail off of them, and then jump in the split second that you have control on the screen transition. There's plenty of runs have been lost to that room.
Yeah. So, we are coming up probably on the riskiest fight in the game, I would say. Without checkpoint? Okay.
Oh,
Well,
right,
I don't
Enchantress.
agree with that.
I remember now.
I don't agree with that.
Well, it
I
depends
really
on if
don't
he
agree
goes
with
goes for the fight, because not many people do. That's way too much health to be diving for it.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
It's 5, right? If you want to dive for it.
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
This is a reasonable backup. This is good.
Yeah.
So it's possible to Judgment Rush the Enchantress under the stage, but
Yeah.
you are committing to finishing her off before you die if you do that.
And Ems has
Just-
to deal with Black Knight in the air.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Then we have Nightmare Reese, who
There we
lives up to his name, because the fight is on rails and it's forced, and you are going to be trying to use the Bounding Soul in order to skip past certain damage thresholds, where he will rear back, go on to the next phase, and do an attack. But it's not always possible to line up those Bounding Souls, because the rails are random. So if you get bad rails, you might not have a good Nightmare Reese fight. And we're not seeing the final phase skip this time, but just staying alive during Nightmare Reese,
And time for
let's get a GG out, because Nightmare Reese is not an easy fight. Spectre's not an easy campaign.
Holy shit. King straight away. Let's go. I'm out of here. Wait, am I? I don't remember. Who's replacing who for King Knight? I don't remember, actually.
That's gonna be Dan the VP on the left. Playing as King Knight.
yeah.
and-
On commentary, I mean.
Oh, I don't remember. Anyways, so King Knight. King Knight's mechanics are, well, his regular attack is a dash. He bashes into things. If you press the attack button again while he's in midair, then he's gonna do a somersault. And the somersault will go straight through his obstacles if it destroys them, and the regular bash is going to bounce him into the air. If he bounces off of an enemy once, then it refreshes the dash. So, at least for World 1, most of what you'll be seeing with King Knight is dash roll, dash roll, dash roll, with a certain specific cadence. If he does a regular dash on the ground, it's possible to interrupt it with a jump and then do another dash. So it's possible to dash roll sometimes.
Ems went for the below the ground kill for Spectre, but he missed it by 1 health. He didn't force it.
Oh, thank goodness he got the checkpoint.
Yeah. Six is going for it again. Yes!
Dan's gonna bait out the beetle here, bounce off of it to go up to skip most of that room. Oh, the slime's getting in the way. Not very nice, that slime. And so, yeah, a special hello to Luki. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, how did that Spectre run feel? It looked relatively smooth.
It might have been PB, if I'm being honest. I checked IGT and I have no idea. It's like so close.
Wow, we're gonna have to retime that then.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, say bye to King Knight's mom. Probably the best character in King Knight's campaign.
By King Knight's mom.
I would argue the only good one.
Maybe.
And
Yeah, probably.
okay.
So King Knight's campaign works a little bit differently with the levels. We're no longer seeing one level
Three, two,
for
one, go.
each zone. Instead, we're basically seeing several mini levels change together. And there's a bit of an overworld map, so a little more akin to Super Mario World or Mario 3, and there are a lot of branching paths. But for now, we're stuck in the plains portion of this. One of the things we have to do is get several medals so that King Knight can afford his sub-weapon, which in this campaign, they're called heirlooms. Ah, Dan's not going for the double jump. So, oh, but we've got the Spectre Knight fight coming up. So, yeah, Spectre Knight, you're gonna be doing a bunch of rolls into him in order to try to do damage to him, but he kind of plays somewhat randomly. He will wander around, he will throw out various curios that he shouldn't have yet, that cheater. It's not a fight that can be scripted. You have to improvise it most of the time.
Yeah, sadly, not all fights in King can be created equal.
Yeah, King as a campaign is really difficult to get into if you are a veteran of the other 3 campaigns, because a lot of what the other characters can do tends to allow you to go through most of your obstacles, but King very rarely has the tools to do that. Oh, and
King
we are
tends to bounce off of everything, or like try to roll through it, but also like if you roll into something that has more health than 1 hit point, you just bounce off of them. So for example, on Dan's side, sorry, you can see him rolling through the rats because those only have 1 hit point.
Yeah, get the medal. I believe it's 5 for turncoat. Do I have that correctly?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
Fair enough.
That sounds about right.
But we are seeing one of the first branching paths on Dan's side. He's taking the secret exit out of this level, which you want to do because this way is going to lead you to the turncoat unlock.
Which also skips a stage, by the way, so it not only saves time by getting turncoat, you also save time by not playing a different stage.
Yeah, one of the downsides of low percent for King Knight is that he has to do the Enchanted Conclave, and that's a pretty difficult stage to do.
From what I recall, there's some pixel jumps in there.
Just
No?
Yeah, a couple of them. So, turncoat.
Making the turncoat jump look easy.
Turncoat is a very good sub-weapon. It's the one sub-weapon, the only sub-weapon that you need. It is versatile, it is useful, it is fast. You put on a shield, kind of Smash Bros. Style. If somebody hits your shield, you build up some charges. If you get 3 full charges, you can release them to unleash a powerful attack. But while you have the turncoat on, you can roll. And so you put on the turncoat, you roll through enemies, or you roll into enemies charged up on purpose, and then you have a powerful attack. And I believe turncoat's roll movement in general is faster than King Knight's default dash roll movement, albeit it's a little bit harder to do and done a lot more in the task than in regular play.
Yeah, it is slightly faster from what I recall, if done frame perfectly. So it's not like it saves a lot of time. Mostly the runners are going to be using it to go through the enemies. And another use you'll be seeing in a little bit with the Charge Dash armor? I forget what it's called.
The Battery Brigandine.
That's the one.
Going for money. That's right. I have forgotten the money thresholds here, but you need to be at a certain amount of money after the King Pridemore fight in order to get the Battery Brigandine. So yeah. King Knight is not going to do the regular fights. Instead, he has to fight 3 kings, the first being King Pridemore. And you're going to see a couple of bounces here, but then Turncoat to phase right through the invincible hands that stop you from bouncing on him. A couple of bounces off the head here, another Turncoat here to do 3 damage and finish him off with a dash to the face. And so that right there should show you just how powerful Turncoat is. It is the only thing you need. Well, the only sub-weapon.
It also goes to show how much King Knight struggles with combat without Turncoat.
I was offered up low percent on GDQ once and refused. I didn't want to do that.
Very understandable. King Low Percent is the one that I do believe is, like, excessively rough, just with how it is.
Spectre Knight low percent competes.
Okay.
No rail mail. No Judgment Rush.
Yeah, very true.
Right. But here's what the Battery Brigandine does. You can hold down your attack button and you can charge a dash. So King Knight would go further than he would in a regular dash, but it can go upwards as well as forwards. So now King can dash upward. But then we have this very amusing interaction, because if you interrupt King Knight's upward dash with a use of the Turncoat, he very suddenly gains additional extra height. And so there's a couple of names for that. We could
Carter
call
jump,
them...
Moon Jump.
Yeah, we could call them... Yeah, Turncoat jumps, or we could call them Carter jumps, because this mechanic was originally discovered by Carter Freak, who I believe is a regular on Game Over Cancer. Oh, but we've got the Iron Whale stages. The Crusher here is scary, but then we're gonna have an even scarier room coming right up, where Lunkaroth is going to make a return. So we have to dash out that block in order to reveal the secret path, because the fastest way through World 2 is to take the bottom path. But then we're going to have a very difficult room here, because Lunkaroth's going to be following you the whole way.
I swear,
And
is that fish
Dan
ever
saved
not
himself
scary?
with the battery. That fish is always scary. Come on, Dan. You can make it. You can make it. He made it.
Very nice.
Oh, pressure plant.
One of my personal favorites when I ran King. It is so satisfying to get right. Especially the end. Keep your eyes peeled.
Right. So most of these mini levels have a certain mechanic that it's playing with, and in Pressure Plant's case, you're trying to hit these vials to make the quirks go out. Is Dan going to grab the safety checkpoint? No, he is not going to grab the safety checkpoint.
Who needs it, to be honest? Imagine needing checkpoint. No, I'm kidding.
Well, okay, this final room is basically going to be several quirks coming up in a row, but you're going to try to set up the Chompy here and bait it out most of the time. No, Dan's taking the safe method for this room. He's waiting on the quirk until the goal ring is in sight. So keep an eye on Norcus's screen on the right when he gets the pressure plant, because there's a scary version of pressure plant, and Norcus, as one of our few sub-31 King Knight runners, is almost sure to go with. Speaking of scary, we've got Ratsploder Runway on the left. So the gimmick of this stage, rats, and they explode.
And they're running?
They are running, yes. Oh, but where this stage really gets scary is this part right here. Okay, he made it to the secret path. It's easy to fall down, end up stuck in an auto-scroller, and have to go back to map and restart the stage. These burners are on a global cycle from the moment the stage started. Whoa. Recover, recover, recover.
Okay.
And they're very much in your way. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
If you're
Unfortunate death. It's gonna be okay though.
Lunkaroth's Lagoon is Lunkaroth's Lagoon is.
That's
Everyone
what
knows what I
sentence.
mean when I say that.
Yeah.
It is. Anyway,
you know the
so
level is really scary when the runners know the level name by heart.
Lunkaroth's Lagoon, Lunkaroth's Lagoon, Lunkaroth's Lagoon.
Yep. Coming up on a fun quote-unquote auto-scroller that you can technically skip, but it's like basically TAS only. It's this boat.
So, when we were first routing King Knight, Carter Freak spent a lot of time trying to figure out if he could skip this boat.
Turns out you kind of can. It's
You
just
can't-
really, really hard.
It is pretty difficult, yeah.
Alright, now let's look over
Okay.
to
Norcus went for the fast version, he caught the quirk on the way out and then bounced
making
off
it
of it and
very
dashed.
nice.
Yeah, it's scary, especially if you skipped the checkpoint midway. But oh so fast.
Oh, so satisfying too. At least in my opinion.
Alright, so Dan is going to be coming up on the Troupple King, and here's going to be another fun boss, especially with the turncoat.
Don't need
So-
that boat, by the way.
Yeah. So the way this is going to work is we're going to push the boat forward. Troupple King is going to have a lot of fish come out of the water, and every one that hits charges up that turncoat just a little bit. And, well, the turncoat's charges are going to hit Troupple King twice on the way through. So your fully charged up turncoat that would do 3 damage instead does 6.
Yup.
And then more fish come out, you charge it instantly, you shoot it out. So
I believe
Troupple
that's
King.
when I discovered, actually. Was quite the event when suddenly Troupple King just died.
Yeah, one of the things I haven't mentioned is Dan regularly going back to the main menu. That's because that's faster than leaving the airship normally.
Oh yeah. Another one you can blame me for. It is exclusively in King Knight's campaign, and it makes the sole reason for why King Any Percent is technically slightly faster on the Switch, because there's no quit to desktop option.
Right, so you only have to press up once instead of twice.
Yep.
Yeah. So, one of the neat things that Dan's got going on his side, there's another turncoat jump. He could just dash up into the enemy and bounce off of it, but nope, got to do the turncoat and go right through it.
Of course. Where else would you spend all that mana?
Through.
I also
Alright.
do believe Turncoat is slightly faster just because you don't get paused on the enemy hit.
That is true. Yeah, so shock assembly, its mechanic is those little shock tiles on the ground. If you step on them, they will shoot out some electricity. But there are the enemies, when they step on the shock tiles, will activate them too. So it's something you gotta watch out for. Thankfully, the checkpoint here is in the way. There's a
Norcus getting an
split
extra
here.
spicy triple kill.
Did Troupple
Very
even
good.
go under the water?
Nope.
That's a very good kill. Yeah, I don't blink on these kills because King Knight's kills, they're difficult to do sometimes. Even with Turncoat, it's not easy to take out Troupple King before Troupple King dives under the water.
For a moment there, they had a synchronized save and quit.
Alright, so the mechanic of Cyclone Sierra is going to be that there are these tornadoes that you can twirl your way into, and then you'll twirl out the other one of the matching color. That takes a little bit of time to do, so we don't really want to do that if we don't have to. Dan's going to go ahead and take this one for safety. But then we've got a fun little thing coming up in the next room, because this is a vertical auto-scroller, but this also happens to be the last room in this stage. So ideally, our runners are going to navigate the auto-scroller blind. Looks like Dan fell right back down.
Maybe
They
in a
would-
second try?
It's not easy to do because one
Definitely
of the...
not.
Uh-oh, that's a death. Yeah,
Gives them
that,
another try though.
that final room of Cyclone Sierra is challenging because you got to do it blind in ideal conditions. And to make matters even more interesting, the last cyclone is moving on a pattern off screen. And Dan got it this
Very
time. Very nice.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Heavyweight heights. Oh, this is another run ender.
Another one of those.
Another one of those. The second half of World 3, as well as World 4, everything is challenging, and you don't have a run until you've called time, and even then, check the logs. But
Yeah, this
heavyweight.
level can definitely be terrifying when starting out.
Yeah, Heavyweight Heights has a lot of wind, and it has a lot of big duck knights that are trying to get in your way. And naturally, we're going to try to skip that wind cycle. If you go this lower path here, too low. Yeah, just reset. That's fine. Yeah, Norcus is catching up here. He's on Cyclone Sierra now too. So for this room here, the wind is going to shift back and forth. Be careful, Dan.
Playing it nice and safe.
That last heavy Jawa. Yeah, sometimes safe
Can Norcus hit it
is...
first try?
Safe is... Yeah, he
Very
can.
nice.
Yeah, safe is faster than dead.
Very true. Especially
Oh,
in a
speaking of
marathon.
dead. Oh, Spectre Knight 2. Oh, Spectre Knight 2. Oh. So,
Well, he's a lot
Here's-
better in any percent.
true, but... Okay, so, when Spectre Knight gets low on health, he's going to start transforming into his second phase, and his health is going to recharge when he finishes transforming. But you
Very
can
nice.
cut the skip. If you set things up just right with the damage, you can finish him before he finishes transforming, you get a phase 2 skip.
Which, by the way, refills their entire health bar, which is another, 20 hits?
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, it saves a lot of time.
And because of how unpredictably Spectre Knight moves, you have to improvise it every time. And it's harder to do in low percent, but even more difficult. So, yeah.
Let's
oh,
see
I
if
can't.
Norcus can hit it.
Oh, let's see it, Norcus. I want to see this. Give Spectre Knight what he deserves, because he has caused way too much trouble for everyone who has ever run King Knight. Oh, that's...
Oh,
No.
intentional death? Maybe?
Maybe. Spectre 2 is hard. He is really, really hard. Like, if there's one point in the run that causes the most resets, it's Spectre 2. Spectre 2 hates
Not
you.
Bird or Quick Kill coming up?
Birder Quick Kill, yeah, Birder King. Birder is pretty difficult, and you see that Birder is regularly refilling their health at various points. But Birder King with the right setup is predictable. It's possible to control Birder King. Oh no, 4 hits left. But it ain't free. Birder King does not like you either. So yeah, the way this goes, you hit him once, you hit him with a fully charged turncoat to the left to make him go to the upper right, and then you do a lot of dash hitting while he's up against the ceiling, and that's going to get through most of your hits on him. But then he will eventually escape, and so you are going to have to finish the fight at that point. That should be the last refill for Dan, and he's got
Very
it.
nice.
Birder
This goes to
King
show,
is-
even with the quick kill, it is quite a tricky fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, King may be the shortest campaign, but he ain't free. He is by no means free. I didn't even talk about how the life bar is different for King, because all the other knights, they could take half damage on a heart, but King doesn't have that. It's full or nothing. So while the other knights start with 8 health, King has 4. Now, the
Fun
enemies...
fact, though, there
Yeah.
is a sprite for the half hearts, and you see it once. One entire time. Do you know when that is, David?
I have no idea. When is that?
In the fairy fields. When they, give you the, Kiss of Death, I believe?
Oh.
You go down to half a heart. So I do think it's funny that they made a sprite for it.
I mean, that is something YCG would do. Oh, very good Birder King kill for Norcus. Yeah. World 4, you're gonna see not fairies, but fairies. They're like the fairies in the other campaign, except you hit them, they will blow up after a bit. And so they're pretty difficult to get through too, because you can't roll your way through them. They're usually in midair, so it's not easy to turncoat through them either. And they're probably going to be in your way.
Especially this last one coming out.
Yeah, so the real question of the day for this mini stage is, are we going to bait it out of the way or hug it? Dan's gonna bait it out of the way. Norcus, what are you doing? He's turncoating on the spikes!
I know, I saw it too. It's okay,
So-
totally intended.
So, Yeah. You will not die from spikes while you are turncoating. But once you release the turncoat, you have a split second to jump before the spikes kill you. That's Norcus is really good at this game. Really good. I mean, anyone who can sub 33, sub 32 is very good. But there's only like 2 or 3 runners that can sub 31. Norcus is one of them. He's really good.
Fun fact, rolling on the ice is actually faster for some reason.
The downside with rolling on the ice is that you're probably not going to be twirling while you do it. When King jumps, he's going to be twirling, which does allow him to bounce off of bad guys and make it to the goal ring. Yeah, I didn't remember the names of those previous 2 stages, but Warp Wrap Keep? I remember Warp Wrap Keep. Okay. The green thing.
Gonna
You
show
fall
off
down the
another
bottom.
example of rolling on the spikes. Very nice. Got some safe ground though, so it's not quite as tight of a window.
Not quite as tight. Dash left to go through there. You're supposed to be wrapping left and right through these rooms. Battery Brigandine helps a lot. Oh, is Dan going to go for... No, he's doing the safe strat in this room.
Thank
It's
you.
possible... Yeah. Oh,
Saving my heart.
but does he go for the checkpoint? Because Warp Wrap Keep, much like Cyclone Sierra, also has an auto-scroller for its final room. And much like in Warp Wrap Keep, the goal ring has loaded, so in theory, it is possible to get all the way up and grab the goal ring.
And it has been proven that it is possible, technically.
I mean, the task does it, of course. But,
course. Norcus
but-
going for it, of course.
but
Nailing it first try. Sorry, yeah.
But the thing is that the ladders don't load until you get near. And in order to get up to the final landing, you're expected to climb a ladder that's 1 tile wide. So if you want to try to skip the auto scroller and get to the goal ring, you have to somehow line up yourself under the ladder and do a Battery Brigandine dash upward without the ladder to guide you. And you have to line it up right or you will bonk the ceiling.
And King Knight, yeah, they're almost a tile wide. So, you know, only having a tile of space. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. So instead, Dan waits for the ladder, climbs up, and then grabs the goal ring off screen. That brings us to the final stage. Where we are going to fight the Enchantress.
That's totally the only phase we're fighting, right? Just the Enchantress?
Oh yes, we've only ever fought the Enchantress.
Of course.
We've got another Tower of Hera section here, but there's when the last set of blocks moves out of the way, you're going to want to get through them quickly, and there's 2 ways to do that. You either damage boost your way through them, or you turncoat through them, or you just wait for them to get out of the way. That's another option too. Then we've got these blocks, which disappear when you bash off of them or when you jump off of them. That make the final stage challenging. So how about a good old-fashioned Enchantress fight? Only, you know, she likes charging up the turncoat too, so you do want to get 3 hits off. She's probably going to dive under the stage. But the nice thing is, if you take the 3, and the turncoat shot will hit under the stage, so we're not having any Spectre shenanigans with diving under the stage this time.
Or, you know,
Oh.
Shovel Knight, which we had earlier, just going absolutely ham.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but we've got Norcus on Enchantress now. Are we going to see the turnaround? Oh, he's hitting Enchantress on the way up. And we've
Oh my
got
gosh.
both runners on the final boss at the same time.
What a close race. I could not have asked for a better relay, honestly.
Oh, this is awesome. This is so cool. Alright, King Triumvirate. Think of your Wolf Sigma for a bit. You might see some similarities there. You know, from X1. 2 hands, big ol' head. You gotta hit the side of the head. For this fight, the ideal fight is basically going to look like bash it in the side of the head, regularly use Battery Brigandine to charge up and get yourself into the air again. We can see that Norcus is continuing the cycle going. That's not easy to do. It's not very easy to release the button to hit him and then do the Battery Brigandine. And then we've got Norcus going into phase 2 first. And he's on the
Final
upper
phase.
hand. And so the way this phase is going to look is you bounce off of the head on the top, but then
coming up
you
on
never
the final
land on
hit.
the hand. And if you never land on the hand, then he never moves again. And that's time for Team Bean.
Dan with the unfortunate death. But still gonna finish it either way.
That King Triumvirate is once you
It's
lose
such
the
a
combo,
fight.
once you lose the combo, it goes to pieces fast. It is, and the timing on that repeated Brigandine charge, it's not forgiving.
How do you even do this fight low percent?
You learn it and then you pray.
Very fair.
I think with low percent, you're probably going to fall down when the hands go in the air like that. And then you're going to be doing a lot of dash rolls into the ear. You see, that's his weak spot. It's his ear. And yeah, Exploud mentioning in chat that many low percent runs have been lost there. To be fair, many any percent runs have been lost there too. Like even phase 2 is if that goes wrong, it could go really wrong because in phase 2 there's no floor. Your only standing surfaces are the hands, and then there's the head that you have to bounce off of. So again, we see Dan bouncing off the head, dash to the other side, take the hit, bounce off. It never moves again. We call that strat brain freeze, and that's time for Team Eldad.
GG.
What a race!
Is that within a minute? Not quite. Damn.
Not
So
quite.
close.
But-
Is it not? 242?
God.
Oh no.
I got a down input and just killed myself on like the.
You know, if I was doing an individual all nights run, 244 would be extraordinary.
I know, right? Such a
Yeah.
lineup of runners.
like just as I was.
So many
do it.
veterans, newer runners, everybody just
Well,
smashing their games.
that's the credits rolling right now.
Okay. When I clicked out of the.
And so that's all for Shovel Knight campaigns. Welcome back, Dan and Norcus. Wow.
Man, that well, don't like ending things on a last minute choke, but I have a feeling the race was pretty close down to the end. So,
Oh,
Y'all
yeah,
got to the
that's
final
very
boss at the
close.
same time.
well, that's good. I had a bad enchantress too, but don't like ending things on a last minute show. It was a tremendous relay race overall, back and forth.
Yeah. I think we had a couple of really good runs.
Yeah, I appreciate Game Over Cancer for having us. Nice, solid underestimate, and everybody that's been donating as well. And I want to thank all the other runners because this has been just like coordinating 8 people across the globe to play 4 different games. Some people coming out of retirement, so it meant a lot, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this for charity.
And we loved having you. That was an incredible race. Thank you so much. The entire teams, Team Ladad, Team Bean, both of you, incredible. It was close the entire time. I know those in commentary agree. Like pretty much every single game, there was a moment where things synced up, bosses synced up. Like that's totally changing the entire outcome of everything. So you put on quite a show. Thank you so much. You should feel proud. Both teams did incredible work. And that was the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove All Campaign Relay. Is there any final notes or any final things you want to leave us with?
Definitely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We'd definitely like to shout out the Spade Brigade, the Shovel Knight Discord, where you can find us all giving away speedrun info for free. Feel free to join if you're even just interested in learning.
Yeah, huge shout out to Yacht Club Games as well. They've been an amazing dev and publisher of. We saw Cyber Shadow earlier tonight. They're fantastic to the community. They've been great to the speedrun community as well. So, big shout out to Yacht Club.
Well, and guess what? Right before we head out, we actually got a $5 donation from Tempest Mask 1000 saying, "What a wild race!" And all thanks to this fantastic community to be a part of, filled with the best of the best. GG, Team Bean, and Team Ladad. I'm grateful. I got to catch this and saw a display of Speed and Steves. So there you go. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Aww.
You got fans. But thank you again.